Oh, shit. Uh-oh, pal.
You're at America's Screaming Scriptacular, the show where contestants bring their creative ideas for an exclusive movie deal to the judges and the jury. Now here's our host.
Hello everyone and welcome to America's Screaming Scriptacular! I'm your host, the most Bella, and here we have our judges, Jaden, Ariel, Jenna, and Tyler. All right, without further ado, let's get started with our first contestant, Matt. Woo! Come on down, Matt.
He's very good.
Well, that's one way to verify that I'm human. Greetings, fellow humans. I am Matt, also dressed as Sino from Genshin Impact, but I know that you already know that. My movie is about AI art. Our planet is called home by species including animatronics, vampires, zombies, guys with battered chainsaws and broken jaws to match, as well as all walks of other freakish life in between. This is just the terrifying reality of the progress AI has made as of late. Over the past few years, we've now had humans with 6 fingers on hands, and others with distorted faces that can risk blindness and deafness. Now, all of a sudden, there's Sora, generating artificial slop content, which has stolen so much pre-existing art that has become difficult to differentiate what is truly art, and which generate the lifeless images that artificial intelligence, or AI, generate. I guess it's scary to realize that these pieces of shit could easily take over our lives at any time, and we're stuck with the realization that there's absolutely nothing we can do to change it. We are completely at their mercy. Machines can and will inevitably eliminate all life on this god-forsaken planet. I don't think I can imagine a more hellish sounding movie plot, much more our living, breathing reality. So, my story takes place at this current era, and it focuses on an artist who goes by the name Julie, who also has a partner named John. Their life seems normal at first, with a somewhat good paying job as an animator, decent place to live in a big city, basically the usual main character who has this fantastic life. And it all seems normal at first, but then AR starts to show up, and at her job, it's at first laughable, with 6 fingers, noticeable signs that this was not human. The boss even gets in on the action, saying, this looks like slop. But then eventually, the boss starts to test out how it works, and realizes how much money said boss could be saving by using it. As the story continues, there's more notable changes in her everyday life, with AI commercials, conversations, videos. And then slowly at their job, the main character realizes that more and more coworkers are getting laid off until they're the last one. And then finally, the boss comes over and fires them. The AI now has complete control of the company. And a day later, the boss is found dead. And as the story goes on, we see more and more sightings of the entity, looking exactly like what AI produces. The sloppy hands, distorted faces. Around the end, the main character realizes that their partner hasn't come back yet from work, and she goes over to investigate and see what was going on. At first, it seems like that the partner is still there, talking, but when they go in for a hug, the AI says something disguised as the partner that finally ticks the main character that, hey, this is not who I think it is, which would enable the final fight. The important things that I want to note with this movie is that it mainly aims for the artist community, because as I've slowly seen recently, more and more AI content is going around. Companies are using it more. And even nowadays, like I said with Sora, it's starting to become harder and harder to tell. And that's what I want my movie to point out of what's going on with our reality.
All right, thank you very much for that lovely presentation. That does sound like a very interesting plot. I'm going to turn this over to our judges and see if they have any questions or comments.
Yeah, Matt, your name is? No. That is an interesting plot because AI is very, very like all over our world right now. Like it is getting more and more crazy to tell like what's AI, what's not. And I also like that the at first I was a little confused with like the 3 hands, but then I got what you mean because AI can produce that stuff. Like would you ever see like those weird Sonics? That's very interesting. I like that. I don't know how we would do it though, you know, because it's like a big thing like an office setting, and it's like we don't really have an office, but yeah, it's an interesting plot. There is definitely some way to make that like pretty interesting and scary, and hopefully to like scare people and like keeping the creative freedom to everyone. So that's good. That's good. If I have any questions, I'll come back, but I'm gonna give it to Jenna.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
All right, well, I really enjoyed the script and what you read. I think my favorite part was the idea of her partner being like not himself and his AI version of himself, and I can imagine that being really scary within itself, thinking that you're with your partner who you know and love and it's actually not them, it's a different version of them, almost like a clone. So I think that was really scary. I think that would be like my favorite part that I would want to expand on within that movie.
No, I really like it as well because, as well, for me, I'm an artist as well, so I'm fighting with AI like every day, finding a job. I mean, for the past 3 years, I've applied for 500 jobs and nothing to no avail. So I definitely relate to that, and I keep seeing TikToks of the Scream face getting hit by a giant trash can on a Ring camera. That AI has been advanced. It's funny, but they've gotten so advanced. So the only thing I wanted to ask is, your movie's more psychologically based? Is that what it is?
Yes, it is pointing towards psychological.
All right, that's the question for me. I'm going to pass it over to Jaden.
But yeah, mainly my movie is pointed out to artists like you and everyone else out there that's trying their best to compete against AI. And it really saddens me that artists, when they draw stuff, they have to show proof that they've been drawing it. And I don't want to live in a world where we have to show that this is our creation. We should be able to express it, and no one should have second thoughts about if a human made this or not.
I agree. You make some decent points. Your script, your overall idea, it has potential. I like how you kind of have the first part, the third part, the second part. You have all of it connected, and who's gonna die, what's gonna happen. We might need to workshop a little bit, but you have a basic idea of what you want. I like that. As far as the AI idea of what's going on, your movie is more like an awareness to these artists, right? It's not just a horror movie, it's more of an awareness, right?
Yes, I also wanted to do something that could feel relatable of what's going on in the current world right now.
Practically, we could probably do it. It doesn't seem like it's too crazy advanced for us to do. That's all I have to say.
I know my script isn't fully finalized either. Like, even the names are not finalized yet, and I'm willing to change some names around and even shift a few things in the plot.
To show the AI, would you use AI to show it? That would be my question, because the easiest way to show AI is to use AI.
That
kind of counterproductive.
That was the question I was hoping someone would ask, and last night that thought entered my head of, will I use AI for this? Well, I have my response exactly as worded. While the idea of using AI is cheaper and cost effective, it would make producing theoretical movie faster, I would much rather work with other humans, as it would show that anyone could make this in 10 seconds by just asking a bot to do it. But I want effort to be put into it. I want the passion, the creativity. And also, wouldn't it be fun to just mock AI art?
Yeah, you got a good point there. I mean, I personally think there's ways to use it the right way, but from what you're saying, like there are definitely people who just like, hell, some of this is in our thing actually. Like so, it's crazy. It really is how much like AI is being taken over. So it's got potential.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, and thank you for that presentation. Well done. All right, you may go now. All right, for our next contestant, we have Dawn Francis.
Cut the audio.
Welcome, gamers. I'm the front man. I'm the operations manager of the American Games. Today I will unveil a secret to you all. Today I will tell all of you a horror story unlike any other. A horror story that involves betrayal, secret affairs, deception, murder. So let's journey into the dark, twisted minds of
Jake Butler! Yeah, just want to show you guys my costume. Front man, Squid Game. What do you guys think? May not be the most practical suit given that I'm in Florida and it's very humid here at times, but you know what? Don't care, I wanted to go as it. Oh, also, yeah, going as a scare actor. You're gonna basically, like... I hope you guys are laughing at this.
Oh, I love that. I'm a scare actor myself.
Yeah, it's very similar to the front end.
Grippers!
It's the game.
You got the grippers!
Anyway, let's get down to business. Let's get to why we are here. The film that I have created, horror film, and I'm going to tell you guys about, The Last Sunrise. That's a working title. Doesn't have to be the official title, but it could be. I'm open to changing the title, but if that's going to be the official title, then okay, well, let's cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay, here's the picture. All these people, producer, writer, director, actors, spouses, all that stuff, they all gather at this big mansion to celebrate the release of their newest blockbuster film they'd all been working on for nearly 2 years. But the same night that they're celebrating it is the same night that this big storm comes in that's gonna block all the roads, but they don't care. Everything seems to be going well, people are getting along, talking, drinks, food, all that stuff. And then, murder! Someone dies! One of the actors. They try to call the police, but guess what? Phones are down. They try to leave, but guess what? Like I said earlier, the roads are out. The storms blocked them all in. If they don't find out who this is, they could all wind up dead by morning, making it their last sunrise. Wait, does that work? Doesn't matter. Okay, so some of the characters are gonna team up. I'm thinking maybe 4 or 5. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe more, maybe less. It all depends when we get to the writing process. Anyway, they team up, try and figure out why someone would want to kill them. But as they dig deeper and deeper, they find out all these secrets that were surrounding the film, like how the main producer guy, who cared more about money than he did about the art process, how he cut the budget at the last minute during reshoots, forcing the director to have to change his vision for the film, or how he, during production, he cut corners, leading to the death of at least one stagehand, led to the death of one person who worked on the film and injuring at least 13 others. Or how about the fact that the director/writer was having a secret affair with one of the actresses, and how also the lead actress had a drug problem, and she was getting these drugs from the lead actor, whose brother works in a pharmacy.
Okay. I like that.
Anyway, they dig more and more secrets, causing tension and all this. Maybe friendships will be broken, relationships will be severed.
Okay.
With each secret they unbury, each hour that passes, another actor dies. But they know that if they keep digging, they'll eventually find out who's doing this and why. And that leads them to a shocking conclusion as to who's doing this, who's doing it, and why they're doing it. Why? Who? Well, to find out, you'll have to greenlight my project. Yeah. Pick my project, please. I wish I was there in person. I wish I was there in person to see all your guys' costumes, but unfortunately I'm not. But that shouldn't stop a great Halloween, right? Yeah.
All right, and with that, I'm going to turn it over to the judges, and let's hear their opinions.
So obviously we're not doing questions because, hey, I got a question for you. It's not going to work. So I think it's got potential. I like a good murder mystery. I do think they've been done to death, though. I'm not going to lie. I think they've been done to death, especially if you're doing like Clue. Like the Clue. That's what Clue is. That's basically what Clue is. So it's not too original, but I still like the idea. What do I mostly want to say? The idea would have to change a little bit because we don't own a mansion. That's not happening. But being like creators, being a creator myself, I think it's interesting to sort of like have it be as a director, a producer, an actor. That's interesting because we all it all comes natural to us to like do stuff like that. So that's cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I also did really like the idea of it being like the film production being involved in the movie and that connection right there. And I also agree that murder mysteries have been pretty overdone, but also when I was listening to him go through it, I felt like there was a lot of room to expand on all the characters. Like they all could have their own storyline pretty in depth. I feel like it was really easy to follow. And by the end of it, I was actually curious to who was doing it and why they were doing it. And like if they're bad too, or if everybody's consumed by greed. I don't know, but I thought that was a really good script. I really like that one. And passing to Ariel.
Honestly, I really like it. Murder mystery is one of the genres I don't really see much of, and even if I did see it, they're not really done made.
Yes,
So
fair. Yeah.
in my opinion, obviously exactly you use Clue, pretty good example. But like I said, murder mystery you don't really see much often. Obviously they did certain ones in like Family Guy. They did that, I remember. It wasn't as enticing. I would like to see how he'll do it through this one, how they're going to create that fear, because exactly, you're pretty much looking at every single person. Everybody has that little story you're going to notice. And I like the idea of betrayal, affairs, murder, deception. Mm-hmm. I like all of that. So I'm very excited how this is going to play out and how it's going to overall work.
Now I'm going to pass it over to Jaden.
So I actually, the idea that makes it so interesting is the fact that he has so much social conflict going on with the characters, which is very expansive, has so much potential. The fact that I don't think there has been a murder mystery where it's been about like a film production crew and the actors and the actresses. I don't believe that has been done. So that is original. I do actually really like the title, The Last Sunrise. I like it a lot. I would not change it if we were to greenlit it. The mansion, I'm sure we can get one of our friends to give us a mansion.
What, me?
Just green screen it.
Just green screen it.
Yeah,
Other than that,
just get a stock photo.
I do like the idea. I think it's well thought out.
It makes you want to learn more about the characters and stuff like that. And the way he has it like knitted, it's pretty interesting. It's got a lot of drama potential for sure. My mom would like it. I know that. So yeah, I think that's good for the judges.
I like how he presented it. Freaking whole Squid Games, like.
You gotta love enthusiasm.
Oh, love it.
No enthusiasm whatsoever.
All right, Simon Cowell.
All right. Well, next up we have Anastasia. Welcome to the Scriptacular. The floor is all yours.
Okay, with this story that I have, that I put together, I'm very excited to share with you guys. This is called Mother of the Corn. It all takes place where there is a house that is hidden deep in the center of a cornfield. A young woman named Annie has lived there all her life. She kept the house ever since the passing of her mother and father. She was abused badly as a child by both of her parents. She can only remember the bad memories. All her angers and sadness stayed with her. She seeks out children to give them her home to stay. So it's this 2-story level house. The top floor is for the children. It's kind of like an orphanage. She keeps them, she takes them there. The whole cornfield is like one big playground for them. So they're free to roam and play. She keeps them and raises them, all of them, as her own children. It's kind of like Children of the Corn. It's inspired by that. I think it's a really good movie. So I feel like my character really resonates with me because I feel that children should all be treated with love and care. The cornfield, it belongs to them and is a place for them to play and to be free. Annie turns all the children against their own family for their revenge. Annie doesn't believe in abuse or abandonment of children. She believes children should be loved and cared for. And that's the house. It's in the center of a cornfield. And that's my character.
Ooh, nice. I like
It's
that.
a real sickle.
I mean, it looks like
It's a real sickle.
I made the mask and the bag and I put together that whole costume.
Woo! Love that.
I really love this character. I actually put her out there before and people were inspired by her. They were all making sack masks because they love the eeriness of the costume. And I think her background story is just amazing. And I put a lot into this character. But she's good. But the dark part of the story is she killed her mother and father because she was abused. So that's why she seeks out children in the area close to the cornfield. So that's why she takes them. So she raises them all, she takes care of them, and she loves them till they get older and whenever they're ready to move on.
All right, if that's all you have to say, then let's turn it over to the judges.
Interesting. I find this very horrifying, actually, especially when you get children involved. The only issue is, you need children then, right? We need to get children to
That's
do it.
very hard.
It's very hard, but the actual story itself is very interesting. The character, you feel for her. It's bad what she's doing, but you understand why she's doing it, which is very interesting. I like that. Yeah, I like the costume, and you already have the costume, which is a big point on you for practicalness. That is great. Could we use your house for if we were to actually do the thing? Could we use your house? Because your house is spooky.
Yes.
Yeah, we'd be able to. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, no, I think it's interesting. I think it's relatable. It's definitely scary when you're ready to get kids in there. And yeah, I'm gonna pass it to Jenna.
I really liked this one. I loved the visual, especially just from the beginning and especially with the costume. I feel like that really tied it all together for me. And at first I was thinking that the cornfield was a little bit overdone, and especially with Children of the Corn and new movies coming out with that. But with it being an adult as the main character and kind of running everything, I find that different. I find that really interesting. I feel just with this costume, you can get a vision. I find her super scary as well. And I also love a redeemable villain. I don't know if you would really call her a villain because she is helping them, or maybe because she killed her parents or whatever, but I just love a villain with multiple layers that you can feel for and relate to. I think this movie is super good to relate to abuse victims, and I think it's really cool. Here's Ariel.
I like it as well, and especially Children of the Corn was a big movie of mine that got me into horror. So don't judge me. And I like this. I like anything psychological. So this is almost like a way of determining if this person's in the right or wrong. it's kind of like an example of Death Note. Yes, I'm using anime reference. Don't judge me.
Good.
With Light Yagami, how he's trying to do good, killing all of the criminals, whatnot, using a Death Note, while he's also being a killer himself, right? To get to that point of being high and mighty. In this case, with her, she's kidnapping children, so she's doing something wrong, but she also wants to protect them from abuse, and also wanting to be cared and loved for by these children because they look up to her now, calling her mother, as I've read your description, because she didn't get that. So I can see the psychological, mental, is she good? Is she bad?
Yeah.
So I really like that a lot. I do like the costume a lot. It's very spooky. It gives me Sam from Trick or Treat vibes.
It does.
That's the biggest thing I feel like. Is that where you got the costume inspiration from?
No.
No. Okay. Hey, I had to ask.
No.
Okay.
Nah.
Like I said, but I like it. But yeah, that's it for me. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to Jaden.
What you have here is a three-dimensional character, one who's not neither good nor bad, someone who is in the gray area, and I really like that. That makes it very realistic. I don't know if the kids are going to have any character arcs, or are they going to be any characters, or is it just about the main?
The main.
The main? Okay. Man, I wish we had a cornfield. Because I would love to do that. There's an area around here that we can get that kind of looks like a cornfield, and we can kind of use our manipulation of the camera and cinematography to make it look like that.
Okay.
You have a well thought out idea. I like the inspiration. I like the character. I like the look.
Thank you.
Very well done.
Thank you so much.
I actually have one more question. How is this movie going to play out? Are we going to see a little bit of background on her in the beginning, where then it's going to start progressing of how everything started at that point, or how is that going to transpire throughout the movie?
I think her background, more of her, we're gonna see how she was abused. So it starts off with her, and then it gets passed down to the children.
Okay.
Just as a final point, I could even see her backstory being something like a prequel or a sequel, and have her just really rounding the kids together and showing in the house. And I also feel it's come up a few times that it would be kind of hard to find kids, but I feel what's cool with this script is I don't think you would need a lot of acting skills from the kids. I think they would really just need to serve as being there, being
Yes.
under her, following her.
Yes.
So I feel there's definitely a lot of chance to rendition that still. And it's also, I love the question of morality, because it's that question of, does anybody deserve to die, even if you abuse kids or whatever. So like I said, again, really cool idea.
But thank you so much.
And thank you for the brilliant idea.
Thank
All right, you're all good to go. Thank you so much for presenting.
Thanks.
All right, next up for the Scriptacular, we've got Michaela.
The Creepy Host. Genre psychological horror.
Oof.
Setting a house portrayed in an Airbnb. Characters, there's 3 to 4, and they're a friend group. And it's by Michaela. Okay, overview.
A group of 3 to 4 friends check into an Airbnb, maybe for a birthday, hollow weekend, or a simple reunion. The house is clean and comfy, while on a house tour, one of the extra bedrooms is locked and has a storage "Do not enter" sign. The first night is good, involving games, music, and drinks. The second night, belongings start to go missing. Suspiciously moved out of place. The friends notice and start blaming each other. Eventually, they find signs that someone else is staying in the house and hears noises in the night from the locked room. After the guest tries to call the host to report weird behavior, they hear ringing inside the locked room. The guests have no choice but to take matters into their own hands. They eventually pick or break open the locked door. They find signs that someone has been staying in the room. Example, missing stuff is found. Fresh warm teacup on nightstand, a made bed, and a journal with a written entry about them open on the bed, making it seem that the guests are being watched and observed. There are entries from previous guests too. The window in the room is open, indicating that the guests leave and enter discreetly. Through the window, lights mysteriously shut off, and the window is slammed shut, and the guest screams. Next morning, the creepy host sits on the bed, turns the page of the journal, and dates it for the next guests that are to arrive for check-in. The friends are never to be seen again. Missing person signs on a tree for final to indicate that. Why, creepy host? The dangers of booking Airbnbs is best to take extra precautions in case this ever happens to you.
Love that.
Thank you for your time. And there's our contact information. This one is definitely more mysterious than the others. It's interesting. I don't know, I'll have to think about it. I'm gonna pass it to you.
I find this one fairly easy to execute. I think that would be like something easier to produce. I think towards the end it like kind of closed out a little quick. I was like a little bit confused towards the end, but I also like the idea of just the Airbnb being scary in general. I see a lot of stuff about like hidden cameras in the Airbnb and people watching you, and also just the idea of forever of someone living in the attic and that whole horror idea. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I would honestly agree with Jenna over here. Honestly, especially Airbnbs, we don't really fully trust nowadays, especially unwelcome people, and especially if people are offering homes, they have keys to access their own home, and they could just do anything. So it's kind of related to reality in a way, to be careful. So that's what I really like about this. I've never had an Airbnb, but I can understand the dangers of it. So I really like it, and I'm curious to see how this would be executed.
So the idea has two sides to it. One, that Airbnbs can be dangerous, and on the other side of that, we got something that's very practical and we can, in fact, execute and do. This is I already thinking about how to do it and everything. Practically, we could totally do this. This is in the budget. The idea of it, I like it. I like how it's built. She kind of made a pitch deck. I don't know if you guys know what pitch deck is. And it's very well thought out. She has all acts in there. It's kind of a little bit, not as much detailed as I would like it to be. But then again, that means I'm really interested in the idea. So yeah, I think it has great potential, and it can be done, executed practically with what we have.
Yeah, I was a little hard for me to register everything because I was reading it, but like the mystery side is what really gets me. The mystery of like these characters and like how they all die. Very interesting. That's good.
I wanted to say I really liked the small detailing in there, like the warm teacup, the journaling. I think that was like really important to put in there, and like a good way to explain the story with little Easter eggs throughout.
And as Jaden said, it is very practical. There is nothing that really needs to be changed too much. It's pretty solid.
All right, and with that brings us to our next contestant. Ryan, come on down. Woo! The floor is yours.
Thank you. How's everyone doing?
Great.
Thank
You're
you.
doing good.
Good. Horrible. Next question.
Bruh.
What do you guys think is the most unutilized trope in horror movies? Like what, like an element, like, or a monster, like what, just anything. Scarecrows, which is a very common element, but they're usually like not as commonly used in horror films anymore. Usually, at least as the focus, mostly as like the side, like kind of like scary stories with Harold and stuff. For my working title, I call it Grandpa Scarecrow. We have three young men, Muse, Justin, and Carl. Justin and Carl are playing a documentary. Muse has another motive when Justin and Carl goes out with him to retrieve a rather peculiar family heirloom. That be a scarecrow. The scarecrow used to belong to his grandparents. He's been searching it for so long, and now he's finally found it at a pumpkin patch in the middle of basically nowhere. And this seems like a great opportunity for Justin and Carl to fulfill more of the life outside of the urban life. Except once there, all three of them find out there might be something a bit more to who I would like to call Nathaniel the Scarecrow. Ties in with a lot of dark family secrets and trauma, and in my opinion, a pretty good twist. And that's a synopsis so far. Any questions?
I see you have a whole script.
Yeah.
That's. Do you want to talk about it a little bit, or like everything that you have here?
Sure, yeah. First off, if this sounds familiar, I took a lot of inspiration from the Blair Witch Project, which I recently watched recently. It is really good. I just put that.
I can
it's really
prove.
good. Yeah. The first part, and the last of it is goes back and forth between then and then now. May I read the first page?
It's up to you.
Begin black. We hear heavy, scared breathing and scuffling. The panic noise of a young man grows, as well as the sound of leaves being frantically moved. Click, click, click. An image comes to the focus. We see through the lens of a camera. It shows a small clearing in the middle of the night or day. Trees ominously flank all around it. On the corner, the timer reads 10:48. A body comes into view. A young man, Justin, wearing a heavy coat, crawls his way through the clearing. His pants and jacket sleeves are torn, and there is a great fear in his eyes. His breathing gets more frantic, mumbling and cursing under his breath. He looks back in the direction he came. Justin is frightened.
No, Jesus.
He gets out of frame. At the moment, we hear another sound, movement away, getting closer. Now we see a pair of legs, lumpish looking, but thin and straight, wearing a pair of red-orange plaid jeans. They make their way towards Justin, a limp, almost twiggish manner to their movement. They stopped in the center of the lens vision. One of their hands hold a serrated knife. Justin screams. The scream clicks away.
And that is the first page. The rest is the conversation between Justin, Muse, and Carl as they make their way to the pumpkin patch. A lot of exposition. While Muse wants to retrieve back his family scarecrow because he considers it one of the last remaining things of his late grandfather, who sadly passed away in a rather mysterious fire. That's all I have to say.
All right, very interesting script. Not a lot of scarecrow horror movies as far as I'm aware. I'm going to turn this over to the judges. Let's see what they have to say.
I think it's interesting. I think like scarecrows, that like you said, is very interesting. I don't know how practical it is though, because what would we use for the scarecrow?
I was thinking more just standard like person in a costume, like, or for like the arms, a little prosthetic because I like.
Yeah, those are cool.
Like,
okay, yeah, I got you. I can see you're still figuring everything out still a little bit more and more. But it's interesting. It's interesting. Yes, I think I've asked all my questions. Your turn.
I guess my first question would be, do you imagine the scarecrow as more of a live thing, like sort of like a villain, or more of like a haunted doll, like we don't really see it moving around?
kind of like a haunted doll kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because that's kind of how I thought of it as well. I felt like there was a lot of detailing in there for direction to the actors. I think you thought a lot of the costuming out already, which I liked. And also when you said Blair Witch Project, I really liked that because as soon as I heard documentary, I imagined it documentary-like filming style, point of view shots. So yeah, I think that's cool.
I have to agree with her because I love the Blair Witch Project, and any documentary style based movie is so scary because you're looking at it from their perspective in a way, even though we're like the audience, but looking at it from their perspective as if we're actually there is really enticing. So I really like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. You really don't see much of scarecrows except as like a background item because spooky Halloween based. I mean. The only thing that Scarecrow is just tell scary stories in the dark and Goosebumps. I've only seen one or two of those.
He's off to see the wizard.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna go find a heart. Or was it a brain? Yeah, it was brain. You're right.
Yeah, he'll cut out the skull.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We're gonna pass it off to Jaden.
How long is the script?
Like 12 pages, but it's more out of a proof of concept that I'm hoping once I can finish more, I can get the idea, I can condense the writing maybe some more if you want.
The duration that you're thinking, but
roughly I say maybe like 20 to 25 minutes at least.
Okay, so like close to like a short film, close to feature film, like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Something like that, yes.
I was reading the script deep in my mind, and it immediately painted the picture. Do you have experience writing scripts before?
I was in a screenwriting class back in OCC and took some film classes.
Yes, it shows. The script is very well written.
Oh, thank you.
And it very well paints a picture in your mind. Now, we were talking about Blair Witch Project and everything. Are we thinking about, like, it's going to be shot like that, or it's going to be plot-wise like that?
I'm hoping to be shot like that.
So shot like that, where it's like the camera is actually with the person, and that would be fun. I always wanted to do something like Paranormal Activity, like something that was Paranormal Activity is like that.
Yeah, no.
Blair Witch Project is one of the best horror films because of all the shots, but also that anybody can make a movie like that because of they had no budget whatsoever.
Yeah.
So same thing with Paranormal Activity. They didn't really have much of a budget. Not the first one. So yes, I do like the idea. I think it's practical. I think we can do it. I like that you want it to be shot like the Blair Witch Project, like Paranormal Activity. As there's only 3 movies that I've seen that are like that: the Paranormal Activity series, Blair Witch Project, and Cloverfield.
I love Cloverfield.
Yes, I really like the idea. I think it's well thought out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. Well done.
Thank you.
You're all good to go. If you have any closing remarks, you can say them now.
Yes. May I ask, does anyone want to know why the Scarecrow is haunted?
Sure.
Actually, that's a good question.
It's made out of the clothes of late family members.
Oh.
You ever seen
We just
those?
made it better.
Yes.
Yeah. You ever seen those keepsakes where someone will make something out of a person's belongings into something else?
Yeah.
Nathaniel is very similar.
Thank you, Ryan.
Woo! I like that.
Thank you very much.
Damn, that's a really good one.
All right, and with that, we have our next contestant presenting now, ND Metal.
Hi. Hi, I go by ND Metal, and I'm here to pitch you my idea for a psychological horror short film. A really good idea, in my opinion. It's called In Search of Five. That is actually my logo. I go by Lobato Media. Next. The genre is psychological horror. It's a retelling of real-life events with holes. But we'll use a theory to patch up those holes. And much emphasis will be put on the characters and their mental struggles. And the main ideas are to highlight the overall mystery and tragedy of this event. Next. Want to hear something scary? About California has the highest number of missing persons in the U.S. at 3,010. And you're about to listen to 5 of them. Next. On the night of February 24th of 1978, 5 men attended a college basketball game in Chico, California. Their team was due to play the first game tomorrow morning in a week-long tournament sponsored by the Special Olympics. The 5 men had prepared the night before, some even laying out their uniforms, and asking their parents to wake them up on time. All 5 men had varying degrees of mental handicap and mental illness. They are as follows. Next. Jack Hewitt, Bill Sterling, Jack McGruder, Ted Weir, and Gary Mathias, the Yuba County 5. After the Davis team won the game, the group returned to Madruga's car, a Mercury Montego, and drove a short distance from the Chico State to Bears Market in downtown Chico, where they bought snacks, sodas, and cartons of milk. It was shortly before the store's 10 p.m. closing time, and they would not come home that night, and a search was started shortly after, with the parents filing a report. 4 days after their disappearance, the Mercury Montego would be found in the mountains above Oroville. The search continued for months, but no sign of the boys could be found, and the weather conditions worsened, forcing the search to be delayed for a while to avoid risking people getting lost. Thanks. Only one witness, Joseph Shions, had any clue as to what happened the night of the boys' disappearance, but his story kept changing every time he told it, and he overall had a bad history of the law, including once had a weed farm, so whether he was telling the truth or not is anyone's best guess. At one point, he claimed that boys were being put into a red pickup truck, but whether this is true or not is not entirely sure. Ultimately, the search for the boys was a complete failure. It would not be until June that the case would see a big break. Ted Weir would accidentally be found in a forest trailer near the campground. His body was wrapped in sheets, emaciated, and showed signs of severe frostbite on his feet. The trailer had also been damaged when the windows broke in, and open cans of food will be found all over. Beside the bed were Gary Mathias' shoes, most likely left behind by Gary, who swapped his tennis shoes for Ted's shoes due to their bigger size. Afterwards, 3 other boys, Jack Madruga, Bill, and Jack Hewitt, would be found. The remains were found along a forest road that led to the trailer where the Quater's body was found. It appeared they had all died one after another as they struggled through the snow and cold trying to find shelter. To this day, the remains of Gary Mathias have never been found.
Wow.
So my vision for this short film is simple. 3 plots. Plot A is just the boys, 2 or 3 of the boys trapped in the trailer, with surviving the winter and just slowly going insane. Sort of like John Paul Sartre's play No Exit, where it's like 3 characters just trapped in the same room, slowly going insane. Plot B will follow Joseph Shions, who I believe was the main culprit behind the whole incident, and him coping with the guilt of having possibly sent these boys to their deaths during the whole ordeal. And plot C is just the boys' families working together to solve the mystery while the police fumble spectacularly at trying to solve this. These are the references as to what you can expect from the kind of thing I want. This could have a handheld quality to it like Blair Witch Project, but it's also a winter horror and psychological horror akin to like Stephen King's The Mist, The Shining, The Thing, and films from David Lynch and Andrei Tarkovsky that play into a lot of slow moments and emphasizing time. Because that's what film is, you're sculpting and capturing time. Writing references include John Paul Sartre's No Exit, which I do have a copy if you're interested. And the research into the case was done by the Missing Enigma, who's a really great YouTuber who looks at a lot of missing person cases, and he does a phenomenal job at analyzing the case and come to his own conclusions. Also, some other artistic references include the Silent Hill games and Dyatlov's past photography. And here's most of the music I've included to give you an idea of what to expect with the atmosphere. We got a variety of tracks like experimental music, ambient, rock, and occasional 70s pop music to remind you this is taking place in 1978. There's also, I have the whole playlist right here if you want to know what the songs I'm planning to play are. And that's it. That is my pitch to you.
So you mainly want to basically retell the stuff that basically what happened, right? It's like a retelling, but it's like dramatized a little bit, right?
Yeah, main emphasis on psychological horror, but we can also incorporate other genres like surrealism, police procedural, tragic comedy, survivalist fiction. But the main idea is psychological horror.
Interesting. I do think it's a lot. I do think it's a lot to do if we were gonna like us, like right. What we have right now.
All right. Well, we can trim stuff down or take stuff out.
No, I know. I'm just saying. The music though. Do you want to use like the Mississippi by Rolling Stones? Because we don't own that. We can't do that.
Well, if you want, I do know 2 very talented music and sound designers from my college, Luke Orlando and
Remaster it.
They're masters. They have experience working in film. So if you want to, we could. I was thinking we could use music, but if not, we could always remake it. Like
if you want to remake it, that's really cool, dude.
Because the late 70s music is just there to remind you that this takes place in 1978.
Yeah, I get you. It's back there in that time.
To create a sense of realism,
Yeah.
Also, the music you see here is designed specifically for atmosphere and psychological horror.
How many actors do you need? I'm just curious about that. Would you say?
I'm not too sure. I mean, I know I need 5 definitely.
Yeah, the 5 boys.
Yeah. But it's also
and then the police.
Jeff Shions, and then there's various family members of the boys, and also certain police officers. But that's basically it. And just a bunch of random extras to help with the search for the boys.
Yeah. I got you. Yeah. No, it's scary. What makes it scary is it's real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And real. Whew, that's scary. All right.
Sure. This especially connected with me because I do have autism, and like the boys have intellectual disabilities. Plus, last year I almost came close to getting lost in the woods and never be found again. But thankfully,
wow, really?
Yeah, I know that. See, I had this friend named Maeve. I had 2 copies of Stephen King's On Writing. I decided to give her one of mine. We agreed to do it meeting in the woods on a hiking trip, but she didn't specify where exactly in the woods, so I kept driving all around the woods, and it got to a point where my car got stuck in the sand, couldn't get it out.
That's crazy.
And I had to get in the car, try to find someone. Thankfully, I did find someone, and I got a tow truck to get it out, but still.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So this is definitely I have a personal connection to this. And also, if you want, this could just be a straightforward psychological horror, but we could make it deep philosophical, akin to John Paul Sartre's No Exit, if you want. And also, as you can see, I have a very eclectic taste in music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can really appreciate the soundtrack being thought out, just a lot of the ideas being really expanded upon. I also love based on a true stories. I just feel like sometimes there's a little bit of controversy that comes with actual missing person victims and stuff, but I wonder how that would go. And I also would love to see any of this music remastered and really like put a lot of work into it. This is something that could be really long and in depth, have a lot of details. So I like it.
I mean, I like it too. I have a personal connection because I almost got lost in the woods myself. Many years ago, I drove over a puddle thinking I could make it, and then I got stuck there, soaked and wet for 6 hours at the end, like towards mid-October. Huh?
She couldn't make it.
Yeah, I couldn't make it, I know. And I still drive this car now to this day.
Wow.
But so I have a personal experience being lost in the woods myself as well, and not being able to get out or anything. So I can definitely relate to this. And obviously, I'm also on the spectrum as well, to a degree, so I relate as well.
Yeah, I think we all are a little bit.
A little bit.
Autistics keep winning, baby.
But yeah, I like it a lot, especially it goes on real life because real life is a lot more scarier than CGI or special effect based movies that a lot of people have been putting out.
And the best part is takes place during the winter, and winter time's coming up.
That is true. That is true. The winter is very harsh, but I like the references you're using, like the Mist, the Thing, because those are my favorite movies as well. So I really like
I'm a fan
it.
of David Lynch and Andrei Tarkovsky.
Respectfully. All right. I don't even have questions. I just think it's phenomenal.
This is a beautiful presentation, by the way.
Thank you.
Absolutely
Thank you.
Beautiful, well thought out. Nice pictures. Really got me into the whole idea of it. So when you said Silent Hill, I immediately started to put together all the pieces that you want. And like, so you're thinking like it's winter. Like, is it so bad it's like Shining Winter, where it's like blizzard like?
It could be.
Okay.
So it's up to interpretation, basically.
Yeah. And
it's up to,
we got a real story, so that means real character, three-dimensional, so
And
we
plus-
don't have to worry about that. Is it going to be dramatized?
Yes.
So it's going to be dramatized.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it going to be like loosely based on it, or are we going to try to do like all events?
I say we stick as close as we can, but there's only so much we could do in terms of realism because there's still so much we don't know for sure about the mystery.
Yeah,
we
you
can't,
don't wanna
we
give it
really,
bad.
we can't really know for sure what happened when they were trapped in that trailer and what happened when they tried to get there. But if you have any questions or you want to know more about this, I highly recommend looking at the YouTuber The Missing Enigma, who does a full-on analysis of the whole thing and gives his own conclusions.
I think it would be very fun. I think it would also be hell on earth for us to shoot because
Yeah,
we
that's
know
what I'm
how
thinking immediately.
we know how it sucks when it's winter and we have to shoot in there. But man, it makes a really good ambiance. It paints a really good picture, and it just shows that the environment, not only that the environment is against them. So yes, it has a lot of potential. Thank you. I'm giving the mic back.
Thank you guys so much for appreciating my pitch.
All right, next up for the Scriptacular, we've got Ethan.
My idea for a movie is a slasher. I was titling it Cat and Mouse.
Ethan created a hash-slinging slasher and made a game that the judges found captivating and could be expanded upon.
Killer has a cat mask. He likes to kidnap his victims and plays a sick game of quote-unquote cat and mouse.
Cat and mouse, I love that.
What I really liked was the idea of the cat mask, and I think it would even be cool if he like dressed his victims up as a mouse as well and really played through that whole scenario.
However, all of the kittens were not in the litter.
It doesn't seem like you have everything all together.
I don't know what kind of spot we'd use.
We just have to figure out like where we're actually going to like shoot it, and you said the mask, which I don't know.
Well, I know what the mask looks like in my head, but
While the judges found the story fascinating and interesting, unfortunately the cat was out of the bag. Ethan didn't know what spots to use and how to execute the story.
Bye, Ethan.
What's up?
I said, I said bye, Ethan.
We would need a trailer, correct?
Hey, yo!
Testing 1, 2. You're back online. Never mind.
Oh, hell no.
Our next presenter is Carl.
All right, Carl. Oh boy.
Carl. So required.
Carl has 2 Labubus that came with a script and a summary. Judge Jaden thought the idea could be a massive trend, and the way they look could potentially be scary.
The Labubu doll. When Mia found the Labubu doll at a yard sale, it was sitting alone on the table. Her phone camera roll was full of photos. Each one was blurry, but showed her sleeping. And the Labubu doll closer in every shot. That's creepy. A new photo appeared on her phone that night. This time she wasn't in the picture. Only the Labubu doll, smiling, holding her phone.
I do like the idea. I know a lot of people have stigmatization against Labubus anyway, so it's already going to fuel the audience for it.
That has potential with it.
However, Judge Jaden also thought the script was just as ugly as the Labubus themselves.
The pages are not numbered.
That one critique.
The pages are not numbered.
Get that!
It's out.
Now I have to count it. There is a lot of settings. Family car, farmhouse yard, school.
So a lot of things that aren't practical, basically.
Kitchen.
Yeah.
That's not practical. We don't have a kitchen. There's a lot. There's a lot in it. And also, it doesn't help that the script isn't really finished. If we wanted to make this into a movie, we would have to majorly workshop it.
Good job, Carl. All right.
Okay, next up we have Ray.
The Cult on Devil Street. Outline pitch by Ray.
Oh, sure?
100% sure.
Okay.
The judges thought that Ray's idea was fascinating. It honors the LGBTQ community and shows how scary it can be.
Imagine you live in the middle of bumfuck suburbia. Nobody really likes you. And one fateful night, you stumble upon a cult on a walk through the local park. Sneaking just a peek, you catch glimpses of ritual delights and entranced worshippers. You flee with a mix of terror and intrigue, pooling in your gut. And soon enough, feels like start to grow in the pit of your stomach. Every day that passes, it gets bigger and bigger. You're starting to go crazy. Why do you want to know more? Why does it hurt so much every time you think about it? And why does it feel like something is about to break out of your skull? You need to go back to the cult on Devil Street. A film for freaks by a freak. I want to make something messy and stupid and gay as shit because I love body horror and being queer. And sometimes being queer is messy, stupid, and fucking horrifying. So my idea is to make the cult metaphor for queerness as a whole. Because the idea in my head has always been you stumble upon something that you're not technically meant to see, which in this case would be a cult doing cult shit. And that cult shit burrows into your head. It makes an impact. It resonates within you, even though you don't quite know why yet. And then it grows, this fascination, this need to know, because because something deep down in your heart or your soul just doesn't feel right without knowing more about it. That's kind of the feeling I want to explore.
I like the idea of cults. Let's make a cult.
I've always wanted to do a cult movie for a bit.
And I like the name you came up with.
Yeah.
Cult on Devil Street's very good.
Yeah.
However, they were as high as a kite.
I wrote this while baked and full of whimsy.
Yeah, you would definitely have to workshop a lot
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm
figure
saying.
out the characters and everything, because this looks like it's just like a synopsis or close to an idea, but not the full thing.
Yeah.
Tell your story, Ray. Keep working on it.
Yeah.
That's what I gotta say. Keep working on it. Good job.
All right, with that, our next contestant is Celeste.
Yay! This escape night. A group of teenagers from high school people going on a trip. What the hell? They earned from fundraisers. They travel by bus. And along the way, they get a flat tire. The bus driver tries to fix it, but no luck. They try to call for help with their cell phones. No service. They decide to split up and find help. Of course, the teenagers have formed in their own cliques. We have the jocks, the popular kids, the misfits, the nerds, and the outsiders. As all the groups travel on their journeys, they come across all sorts of interesting things and obstacles to overcome until they all eventually come to a huge house. This house is monstrous, decrepit, and extremely mysterious looking. There are many rooms in this house. Of course, we have those kids who want to explore, and others just want to wait for help to arrive. However, what they don't realize is they have just encountered the worst nightmare of their lives. Why, may you ask? What they don't know is that the house they have encountered is not only dark, old, cold, and smells unusual. Maybe like an old scientific lab. There are so many rooms to enter and figure out, as well as solve, to survive. Because when you enter this mansion, the doors automatically lock, and the only way out is through the house. Because as soon as they open a door, escape the rooms
Just makes it more
have
amazing.
begun. In their journey, they have to complete the rooms by a certain time if they want to avoid the creature, monsters, or whatever lurks behind the steel doors locked shut by a timer. You see, many years ago, this house was an experimental government building with all sorts of labs. It was designed to experiment on certain species to assist with an army to help with creating a defense against terrorists. Unfortunately, what the scientists didn't know, as the years have went by, their species have mutated, acclimated, and they have become more sophisticated than their own. As a result of this, there is no match for the poor scientists who are subjected to the cruelty these creatures leashed upon them. Over time, the creatures have evolved and finally been contained. What these poor kids don't know is they have to do is open doors, solve puzzles, unlock riddles, and figure out combinations by a certain time so they can move on and try to beat the enemies that lurk. It will be interesting to see as they all try to escape the night before the game ends. What will happen as the night approaches and the players start playing for their lives?
Let's turn this over to the judges now.
That was very well done. In terms of like presenting, that was pretty awesome.
I do.
That was awesome. I do think this idea has a little too much stuff in it. A lot actually. We would have to pinpoint what the bad guy is here. 'Cause I think it's a little skewed on what we're actually like dealing with in terms of like enemy. Like especially practical side. Like how many monsters could we really create? Like one good one? I don't know. I do like the escape room aspect of it. That's what that is. That's an escape room. This is interesting because like she has like a bunch of different groups. I think that's too many characters, but at least for us. But I like the idea of sort of seeing like which group will win. It's sort of like a school like war. Kind of interesting. I kind of like we could probably like represent like maybe two people, like a team, like watching Amazing Race or something, where you have like two different teams, like two of teams and stuff like that, instead of like five, but the groups can still last. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I like the idea of an escape room horror movie. I'm just saying, like, personally, I like this idea. I would need to change it up to make it more practical, though. That's my assessment.
I agree. I think that would be more your forte, and I think like I really liked the idea of the different groups of people. I also feel like there's like opportunity to layer the movie, like maybe add like a little bit of romance in there, comic relief. I mean, that's always really popular, the jock and the nerd trope. Maybe even
drama for sure.
mixing the groups around and having them come together, having different character development there. I think that would be really cool. So Ariel.
I like it too, especially the escape room idea. I mean, obviously I saw 2 vibes where people were stuck in a house of different backgrounds and they're all doing these puzzles to basically make sure they get out of that house, but also they're consumed with poison, so they have to find the antidote to make sure they live. So I'm pretty much getting a similar vibe from that. But I do like it. There are a lot of components and a lot of different things going on, so for it to all unify is going to be tough. I mean, I can understand there being a villain, but not every horror movie needs a villain.
That's a good point.
I will say that.
I think it's just a little bit too much of like...
I mean, I can understand she's saying monsters. I think it's more of like there's not really necessarily a need of villain. It's just more of like scare. There's something lurking. They could get you.
Yeah.
It could be
Like
a
some movies
question.
can do that. Like literally The Mist.
I'm
You
just
don't
thinking,
know
like,
what was
How
there.
would we do that, though? That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. No, I got what you mean though.
I would leave it more unknown. I mean, I don't know how it, like, I think the creatures are definitely a really good idea. I don't know if it's needed, as you guys said, because I
Yeah.
think it can almost be like an unknown, ominous type character who has them within this room and owns this house and you don't know.
She mentioned the scientist, so maybe she's like referring to like the scientist as being like the sort of...
Well, they were mutated, if what
Yeah.
she said. So maybe that is what she was referring to. So
Yeah.
Jaden.
So I was thinking a whole film franchise, video game series, a book series. Maybe we get a. It's obviously inspired by the Nonary games.
Oh, it is. You're right.
And I really do like the idea because it brings a lot together. As a filmmaker, it'd be impossible to do with the budget we have. Like,
That's
not
true.
even practical, not even like we just wouldn't serve it justice to be able to do this practically. But putting that aside of the practicalness, the idea has a whole lot of potential. There's a lot going on in this fucking house. I mean, there is so much going on, and there are many monsters, many things to be scared about. I love how there's a variety of horror. Not only do you have to like escape these rooms, but there's also these things after you, but there could also be death traps, so it's like Jigsaw plus Nonary games plus another game that I'm playing. And it's got all these monsters in there too, so it's also got that monster horror genre going with it.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of things that a lot of people like. It's got a lot of potential. But yeah, it would be impossible to do with
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, the practical side. We'd have to use like maybe our house. I mean, it's...
No, it would just
Yeah,
be
it would just-
impossible.
yeah, it would just be
We
that.
couldn't serve it justice.
All right, moving along to our next contestant, which is Jared.
My man! Hey, yo, what's this bias?
So, got this movie idea.
Oh, do you?
It's gonna be presented in front of judges today.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Very
it's about
insightful.
this guy, and he's it's a family, so it's just a husband, a wife, and a son. The son could be any age, so I know you guys don't work well with children, or you don't have children to work with. So, yeah. Anyway, father, son, wife. They move into a new house. You can actually go to the first slide now that I've kind of given you the premise. They go into this new house. Father's struggling with alcohol. He's struggling, like, recovering from it because he used to be an addict, so he's having, like, all these withdrawal symptoms. The move-in period's pretty hard. The father's having a lot of hallucinations because of the withdrawal symptoms. And he's having difficulty separating, like, what's real and what isn't. And there's a lot of conflict in the family. Then you have all these, like, hallucinations in the house, and the father's seeing things, and everything's kind of going out of whack. The wife and the son, they're starting to doubt him. They're like, well, are you really healthy? Are you really getting better? And so, go to the second slide now. But there appears to be somebody watching the family from the woods. And again, the father brings this up, and he's like, hey, there's something watching us. And the wife's like, yeah, like, it's your hallucinations. Like, it's gonna take a couple of weeks to get through this, and he's like, no, seriously, there is something out there, and it's like, there's nothing out there.
Interesting.
And the son starts to notice something, but then the wife is like, he's a kid, like, yeah, there's nothing out there. And so they have this false sense of security, and creates all this internal conflict as mentioned. And then the son, he goes into the woods to look, he comes back, he has an injury, and the wife is like, well, the father has this history of drinking and being an alcoholic, so obviously the father injured the son, like, but that's not what happened. The father can't convince him, the son can't convince him. So there's all this distrust and this kind of fear of the unknown, because you don't really know what's out there, you don't know what's hunting them, but you have all this these doubts. Then the father starts having all these conversations with people that aren't there, and it starts getting a bit crazy. Also, the father's a police officer, so he has PTSD symptoms as well, so that kind of just adds to the mix. So now the son goes missing, and this is just kind of how things wrap up. They search the wife and the husband, they search the woods. Then the wife insists the husband isn't like stable, so he sends him back to the house. At the house, the husband finds that the hallucinations and like these people that he's talking to are like very real, and it's like going crazy. He returns to the woods to look for his family, and he kills the evil spirits, but then like there's a twist at the end where like he kills them, and then he looks down and it's actually his family that he killed, because he's like losing it. But again, this kind of doesn't have like an ending that's very clear. I wanted the ending to be up until like the audience interpretation, because you don't really know how it ends, in the sense like you don't know what to believe. Do you believe, like, it's like an unreliable narrator, you know? Do you believe what you're seeing, or is it all a hallucination in the end? What's kind of going on? So it kind of it leaves vague. That's the whole thing. You can go to the next slide. I had some character ideas. I wanted to keep it very simple, a few characters. Of course, if you guys want more characters, you can add more. But the idea is that I wanted in-depth, fully fleshed out characters with development. So the fewer characters we have, the more we can develop them personally and have character arcs and all those sorts of things. And you can go to the next slide, actually. I got some themes here. Attention to that one. The strongest fear is the strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown from H.P. Lovecraft. So that's kind of the whole sort of vibe I was going for. But that's about it. So.
All right, let's turn this over to the judges then. I get the Shining vibes.
That is exactly what I was
That's
thinking.
the biggest thing I'm noticing.
Oh, there it is.
There
Number one.
we go. Okay.
Whoa!
Okay. Wow. Before you. Okay. Listen.
So, no, we all. It looks like we all thought The Shining. That's very interesting. I promise there's no bias here. I promise. But like, I like the idea of like not understanding what you're seeing and just creating like, you know, illusions that might not actually be real. That is really cool. So I do have a question though, though I don't want to ruin it, the movie though. So there is a ghost, right?
Yeah. There's multiple ghosts, actually.
Okay, is the ghost the reason that the father is dealing with all these problems, or really is it just him?
I mean, there's pre-existing stuff.
Well, it's the
He has some
addiction that
issues.
has the hallucinations, right? And yeah.
But are some of those hallucinations the ghosts themselves?
Yeah.
Okay, but we don't know which ones are which.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that the audience could be like, I wonder which one is the actual ghost and which one is... And you wouldn't know, because you're going to obviously do the ghost later.
I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, the audience is, like, they're supposed to be questioning it, too.
Yeah, no, I like the idea of, like, not knowing what's going on. I like it.
Cool.
Yeah, I got no questions.
I love this. I think it's so good. I really like the idea of like him coming off of addiction. I think addiction being a theme in movies is usually more of like a sadder type thing, rather like really taking advantage of that horror movement and like how scary it can be. I also love the idea of like there just being disbelief in between the wife and the husband. I mean, I think we even saw that in Insidious, where he's possessed and the wife isn't sure what's going on in the beginning, leaves you like on the edge of your seat. And also, I think it's just a really cool idea to have the audience is almost going through a hallucination as well. The audience does not know what's real or what's not. And I also really like that idea of not disclosing that within the movie, just leaving it up for interpretation. I love it.
Yeah.
Hallucinations and stuff, it's definitely interesting. I like to see how that would play out. So I'm excited to see how that would go. And I like anything paranormal. Because paranormal stuff, obviously, they make it scary. In this case, it's the paranormal in this movie, it's not as scary, but you know it's there, so it's still frightening. It's just they're not like overly scary like The Nun or Paranormal Activity. So different approach to the paranormal, which I'm very interested. So, Jaden.
It is very well thought out.
Oh, I thought you were gonna lay it on me. I was bracing myself for it. I was waiting for it.
Awful. I've never seen anything more insignificant in my life.
Oh, thanks, Jaden.
No, I immediately got the Shining vibes from it, but I really like the internal conflict that you got going on, which
Yeah.
reminded me of the Paranormal Activity series, where the people are possessed and then they start having massive internal conflict. The Shining has internal conflict with the family, but because the family's not whole, it's not enough.
Right.
You have both
Yeah.
combating both forces at the same time,
Very
which makes the audience really want to see. I like how there are so many ways that we could do this. The fact that I can just completely make the audience feel like, what the hell's going on with your idea? Because there's so much manipulation going on, so much psychological horror. There's like, are they there? Are they not there? What am I watching?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, there's so much fun to be had. I really like it.
Thanks,
Well
Jaden.
done.
I have one question.
Sure.
Okay. So you want to do like a house in the woods, right? The woods easy.
Yeah.
How are we gonna show the house in the woods? Are we just gonna like?
I mean, we could like just do a
I
shot.
got a Lego set.
Let's say someone has a house that's by the woods, like yours, right? We could do a shot out the window where you can clearly see the woods right there to make it look like it's completely surrounded. That's just an idea.
Ooh.
Actually, so I have a question for the judges.
Oh no.
Okay.
Are all three of you left-handed except for Tyler?
I'm
Oh,
lefty.
Yeah, I was saying we're all
I'm
lefty
lefty.
except
Wow.
him.
Not Tyler?
Unfortunately, none of them are right.
That's
so
crazy. We all have the
Okay,
devil's hand.
Tyler.
Haha.
Yeah.
That's-
Well, so am I, so I notice it easily. Everyone except you, Tyler.
Well,
Alright.
being the righty, I have to congratulate you and say nice job. You did a good job.
I agree.
It's time for our next contestant to present, and that will be Will Cyrus. Come on
Ty-
now.
Tyler.
Or is
Please.
ignore me. Sorry.
Will Cyrus, thank you very much.
Oh God.
For your consideration, judges, this is my film treatment.
Oh.
I thank you.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes, I'm Will Cyrus. I'm a bit disheveled. I've just flown in from Hollywood. All right, my movie is called The Mortimers, a horror movie. The setting. The premise, nestled on the wind-gnarled dunes of Barnegat Lake, New Jersey. An ancient lighthouse looms over a remote coastal hamlet. At its base, a modest, weathered bed and breakfast is tended by a peculiar elderly couple, Dorothy and Walter Mortimer, who have lived at the end of the Narrowsand Road for as long as locals can remember. The Mortimers open their doors to travelers only rarely. The vacancy sign flickering on with unsettling infrequency. Visitors who stay rarely leave in one piece, for the couple harbors a monstrous secret imprisoned within the sealed lighthouse. A monstrous, multi-jointed being that feeds on human life, and in return, breeds a perverse vitality into its caretakers. Who's in charge? The Mortimers or the beast? Our opening scene, dawn. A low fog clings on the bay. Walt, in his old kitchen, prepares his tackle box, looking at hooks and checking his reel. He slowly grabs his bucket filled with bait, grabs the tackle box. Walt is then seen, quietly walking past the lighthouse on his way to the jetty and the bay beyond. He is hunched over and walks slowly, music foreboding. Walt sits on the crumbling jetty, casting a line into the inlet between ocean and bay. At first, we can't tell what Walt is using as bait, but it's definitely not fish. The bed and breakfast, which is the trap. The bed and breakfast is a snare baited with false warmth. The vacancy sign, wired into the salt-worn structure, glows only at the monster's hunger. When it lights up, Dorothy and Walter become charming hosts, spinning stories, serving home-cooked meals, luring travelers into a sense of security. They are expert liars. Their deception aided by the subtle psychic influence of the monster living just 50 feet away in the lighthouse. Chosen victims are isolated with practiced ease. Once night falls, escape becomes impossible. The weapon of choice by the old hosts? Knives. Wielded in a way that shows they have been used many times before. Each victim, mortally injured but not dead, find themselves being dragged out the back door, a ramp in place rather than steps to make the process a bit easier. Dragged across dunes, a stretch of beach sand visible through the windows at the very top. A few precious moments of silence. The victims on their back, looking upward toward the small piece of moonlight, then consumed so quickly that death comes fast before the realization of what's actually happening. We see that horrific vacancy light go on a few times in the movie. It's not a good thing. We know the Mortimers are welcoming their next victim. It's a symbol of death, but also of continuing life for the old couple. The light never stays on for long because visitors keep coming because of its proximity to the bay and beach, which with picturesque views of the inlet, water always flowing. This is not meant to look like the monster. In fact, I'd rather you never see the actual monster, and you only know that it needs the size and the height of the lighthouse. But within the lighthouse, behind rusted steel doors and ancient chains, the creature stirs. It is grotesque, its body, a chaos of multi-jointed limbs, all folded up around its body. Its mouth is hidden somewhere on the underside. Huge, completely black eyes blinking in clusters along its undulating spine. Within the lighthouse, it has no room to move, but upwards. It consumes its meals quickly, sloppily, sounds of human flesh bitten apart. There are always some small leftovers, too small for the monsters to care about, that Dorothy collects into her small bloody bucket. After it is fed, it has strength to stand upright in the lighthouse, a slow creaking process to unfold its limbs, moving its body up. The thing is very, very old, and not from this planet. It has wanted out for many years, decades. As the camera circles the beast, towards the back, we now see it has a tail, somehow more vulnerable than its creaking but solid limbs. As the camera pans down the tail, we see the thick chains. We realize the tail is a weak spot that the Mortimers have taken advantage of to imprison the monster. You see, it's a symbiotic relationship. The Mortimers are not just caretakers, but supplicants. When they feed the monster, offering up another helpless guest, it exhales a sickly vapor that seeps into their bodies and lungs. Wrinkles don't fade, but joints loosen, backs straighten, merely energized, uncanny. For a short while, they move with vigor, their eyes gleaming with perverse health. This unusual breath sustains them, even as it robs them of any hope for peace or escape. Are the Mortimers using the monster for life, or is the monster using them? Next slide. Charlie.
Charlie.
Mid-movie, we see a kid about 10 years old heading toward the lighthouse, tackle box in one hand, fishing pole in the other. As he gets near the lighthouse, he pauses and looks up at the top of Old Barney. For some reason, he feels uncomfortable, even scared. He makes a wide circle around the structure, noticing the ever-present closed for repair sign hanging on its doors. He quickly changes focus to the jetty. The bay wood is behind, in the hope of catching dinner for his family on vacation for the week. He casts out a few times with no luck. An old man appears, Mortimer. He carries a bucket, but no tackle or rod. He passes slowly and quietly past the hopeful boy to the end of the jetty. He empties his bucket of its remaining bait with a swing toward the bay. The bait visible for a moment before quickly sinking into the water, a nice meal for the bottom dwellers. The boy thinks he caught a glimpse of something that didn't look like a chicken leg or a chunk of squid, something more familiar. As Mortimer passes again, the boy changes focus and asks the old man, "You ever catch anything here?" "Sure, plenty of times." The boy asks what the secret is. Mortimer thinks for a moment, staring out at where he dumped his leftover bait. Then mumbles to the boy, "You gotta get out here early. Fish won't bite in the sun. Gotta get them before the sun rises." The boy smiles and thanks him and runs back the way he came. He turns to Mortimer and says, "My name's Charlie, by the way. Thanks again." Mortimer thinks about it again, looking toward the lighthouse, and hangs his head low. It appears to be just another day around the lighthouse. Mortimer sweeping, Dorothy cleaning the floors of the bed and breakfast, as she has done many times before. We know what she is cleaning up. We see a family approaching. Typical people on vacation looking to fish or crab off the pier of the Barnegat Lighthouse. The dad looks to be about 45 or so. 2 kids in their early teens, pretty wife holding a cooler with some lunch. As they pass, we hear their dad say to the kids, I learned a long time ago that fish won't bite during the day, but we can try anyway. They park themselves on the pier and start baiting hooks. The dad surveys the area. He sees the sign on the lighthouse, still closed for repairs. He reads as he shakes his head. Then he spots the old man. Sweeping around the back of the lighthouse, now coming into view. The dad stares intently at the old man. The scene not making sense to him. His wife asks, What is it, Charlie? Do you know the old man? Charlie says, Maybe. I'll be back in a minute. Charlie approaches Mortimer, who is now joined by his wife, and the two share a drink of iced tea. Charlie walks up and asks the couple how long they've been living there, tending to the lighthouse. They reply with a vague, pretty long time. Charlie makes eye contact with Mortimer and asks, Are you the same man that told me to fish in the early morning here, that fish won't bite during the day? That was like 35 years ago. Mortimer, ever cool under this kind of questioning, just says, Nah, I don't think so. What do you think I am, 120? The old couple walk back toward the bed and breakfast. Charlie stares following them. He realizes the bed and breakfast is the same as well. He's sure it's the same old man. When they get near the deteriorating porch, Mortimer says to Dorothy, Probably time for another change of scenery. Dorothy is resigned as she looks out towards the bay, then toward the ever-foreboding lighthouse. She just quietly says, I'll miss this one. Closing scene. The camera slowly pans onto a castle in rural Germany. We see a very tall watchtower on the left side. Then we see the familiar faces of Dorothy and Walter speaking to each other in the kitchen with German accents. Old as ever, but moving pretty well. Dorothy has a sign in her hand as she walks down a long stone drive. She hangs the sign on the old mailbox. Help wanted. One more slide. I thought that Jared Keane and one Ariel Roscoe would be great for the old couple. While the executive producer Tyler Sariski, followed by the director Jaden Sariski. I'm Will Cyrus. What questions do you have?
Well, first thing I want to say, Jesus, Dad.
I don't know who your dad is, son, but I'm Will Cyrus.
All right, Will. You really
It's
thought
a movie treatment. That's what it's supposed to be.
You really thought this through. Like a lot. In fact, to be honest, I don't think we could do it justice.
I wanted to do something local, hence Barnegat Lighthouse. You could use I'm telling you, don't show the beast. Don't show. You could hear it.
What about the tail you mentioned, though?
Yeah, but you could do that, and you could film it inside the lighthouse. There's a bed and breakfast there, close by. There's old buildings.
So just
you
ask
could
around.
do it justice.
I feel like you could write a book and do a really good job at it, actually. It's a really interesting story.
A great job. The detailing on it, like, literally kept me wanting to read it. I caught myself going ahead of you to want to see.
Yeah, it's very good.
Have you ever heard of Arsenic and Old Lace? It's a very old movie.
Yes.
Okay. Mortimer is taken from that. So Arsenic and Old Lace is about the two old ladies who are actually killers, but they seem nice as anything. And then Cary Grant plays Mortimer, and he figures it out. It's actually a comedy. It's not a horror movie, and hence that's where I got Mortimer from.
My favorite part, honestly, is when he sees the boy again as like an adult. That's really cool. That's
together.
Yeah, so their time is sort of up. That's the idea.
I feel like the idea of the sounds as well, like just kind of like even creepy crawling or like the dripping and like really creating that image is really going to bring you there. I feel like that's where I do see what you're saying, but I also do find it realistic with just sound effects alone. I think would make that. And then even you could keep where the beast is super dark and just really play up on that sound.
You always, when you're there, you can always hear the bay hitting. Like you could, that's the background sound, but then you have this eerie, you can actually, you can do it in the lighthouse.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I really like the idea of the monster, like also being kind of otherworldly, and he eats human flesh and then also gives life. That's kind of really goes along with that whole concept, and it makes a lot of sense. The only thing is, like in theory, how would they move the beast to Germany?
It's a good question. I didn't put it in, but I was just thinking they had a truck because the thing sort of, my idea was like this thing with legs that streak, almost like a daddy long leg, but like really big.
Yeah.
It sort of can streak up, but then if you could film it, that when when it eats, then it's sort of like this creaking, like I had this, and then it like goes up into the lighthouse. I know that's hard to film, but the idea is that then after it's done, it sort of like becomes this very small thing.
Interesting.
And it's not really aggressive when it's not between feedings. That's the idea.
Yeah, I would even wonder as like almost an alternate ending of if instead of moving, they just kind of trick the family into going in there and just take them out in general. But I love the idea.
That's pretty darn good.
She gets me. I was about to say that.
Interesting.
Listen, I'm not. You know, there's creative freedom.
There we go.
How many people would you want to play as the guests?
I think
and
just one.
Just the one, or because I know
you have like sort of a jump scare
right
opportunity there, if you will. So you picture like this old couple, they have a visitor, the guy's there, he wants to surf for a week. That's what I'm picturing, like a surfer dude. He's like, oh, this is great, you guys are near the, and then all of a sudden that one picture where you see like they just like switch like that and sort of pull out knives and take them down quickly, like they've done it many times. I think you only need like one of them.
Okay. Like
And, but the other image I had, again, it doesn't exactly, was the vacancy thing. That light on and off.
That is very nice.
I love
like
that. I like
this
sign of danger.
imagery of like the light going on. And after the beginning, you sort of know that what that means. And you don't need to see the whole, you know, you could see somebody coming in the door, but you don't need to see the whole killing and the whole, but like you need one. You need one where it's sort of taken through.
What would be nice is getting Dragon, you just hear the background, just the screaming and agony when they're killed. Where'd you get the inspiration for the monster? Because I'm thinking like tiny spider, like Alien, when they're first born out of the egg. That was my thought of how the
The
monster
main
looked.
inspiration
but-
was my oldest son when he first wakes up, and you know, hair kind of disheveled, kind of nasty, and you know, in a bad mood.
Because I know you're saying spider and the tail, I just assumed Alien, like the baby.
I don't know
came
why.
out of
It's
the egg.
something like
That's what
that.
I was thinking.
It's something like that.
Jaden?
It's a lot. It's good.
Well, what you have here is a really good established story. You have all parts that are well thought out. Literally, we wouldn't even have to workshop it. We would literally use this to adapt to a script and screenplay it. So you basically did all the work for us. You thought of the practicalness of how we're going to show it and everything. And it is true that we can definitely show all this. The monster, it paints a picture of how it looks in my mind when I'm reading it. However, when you see it, I don't think it's going to serve it justice. So as a film, I think it would be much better, beneficial, and have much more potential as a book.
That's what I was saying. It's
Instead
exactly
of a
what I was
film.
thinking.
But we could just make it into a film and then adapt it into a book. Do the exact opposite that usually happens. You have very much a lot of potential, and there's so much to unpack and characters to unfold. You got 3-dimensional. I don't got any problems with it. Very well done.
Yeah.
All right. Nice job, Will.
I love it. Will. Our next contestant is Split.
What?
Is this somebody's name?
Oh no! As the judges, we're gonna play the characters on here. Bella, you could be the narrator. We have 5 characters. Okay, JR, you're the other one. So we have like Ray, Jess, Lenny, Tori, and Danny.
I knew it!
I'll do the arcade tech. I'm Lenny.
I'll be Tori.
Danny.
Alright. Outside, fog curls along the boardwalk. A radio warning cuts through the static. Authorities advise citizens to stay indoors. Avoid contact with anyone exhibiting aggression or decay.
Aggression or decay.
Alright, right.
Every tour is after sunset.
The team laughs until the laughter dies. A shadow moves across the glass doors. Act 1. The fog thickens outside. The lights flicker. Lenny bangs on an old cabinet. Zombie Zapper 3000. It roars to life on its own.
Did I just fix this without touching it? Because that's concerning.
The power cuts for 2 seconds. When it returns, one of the game characters on screen is staring out at the screen directly at them. Then, bang! A bloodied hand slams against the front glass.
Oh my god.
The figure outside is a man in a soaked lifeguard shirt, skin gray and eyes clouded. He smashes the glass with his head and collapses inside.
Guess he didn't read a no outside food or drink sign.
The man twitches, then snaps upward, teeth bared, growling. He lunges. Act 2. The team scrambles for cover. Danny slips and crashes into a cabinet. Tokens scatter like coins in a video game death screen. Lenny grabs a skee ball and hurls it. Direct headshot. The zombie drops.
Congratulations! You just set the new high score.
They barricade the doors, but more silhouettes appear in the fog. At least a dozen.
So, anyone got zombie protocol training or just customer service?
The infected begin pounding on the glass, drawn by the flickering machines. The arcade pulses with light and sound like a feeding beacon.
They're not after us. They're after the lights.
Then kill the power.
The team races towards the breaker room in the back, dodging toppled cabinets and flying glass. Lenny lingers behind to grab his backpack. A cold hand grabs his leg. He screams. The team turns. Too late. Lenny disappears beneath the machines.
He's respawning.
Act 3. The survivors, Ray, Jess, Tori, and Danny, make it to the breaker. Danny flips the switch. The arcade dies. Silent. Dark. The pounding outside stops. Jess exhales. For the first time, silence. Then, a faint glow. One cabinet lights up on its own. The same one from before. Zombie Zapper 3000. The screen shows pixelated versions of the 4 survivors.
Okay, that's not funny.
A hand bursts through the cabinet screen, dragging itself into reality. A zombified Lenny, still clutching his snack bag.
Nope! Nope! Nope!
They fight him off with prize bats, a mop handle, and an air hockey paddle. Jess smashes the circuit breaker open, electrocuting the cabinet, and Lenny with it.
Oh no, my favorite character.
My bad. Rest in peace, Lenny.
Damn.
The machines all power down. Smoke fills the air. Exterior boardwalk. Dawn. They emerge into the foggy sunrise, bloody and exhausted. Sirens echo in the distance. The once busy pier is silent.
So, breakfast?
Only if it's not brains.
They laugh weakly. Behind them, the arcade sign flickers back to life. One letter at a time. Insert coin. A digital voice echoes faintly through the air. Fade out. The end.
I didn't even have dialogue!
You had no time.
We just screamed it.
I'm not gonna lie, that
Absolute
was so
cinema.
funny.
Light work.
I like the title though. Insert coin. That is such a funny title,
Yeah,
and I
it is.
like it.
All
Totally
right.
say yes.
Split for the fun.
Next up,
Okay, next up we have Jack.
Nice to the neighbors. No, don't act strange. You got this. You got this. You. Okay, I got this. I got this. Oh. On your head. On your head, Frank. You're not seeing things, right? You're not seeing things. It's all fake. Don't worry. It'll be okay. Surrounded by friendly faces. Neighbors here are nice. Why question things? They're not that weird. Fine, Who's that? intruders. It's alright. This is my imagination. So the movie is called Midnight Watch. The actual genre of this particular horror movie is psychological and horror kind of movie. It's also a mixture of dark comedy as well. As for the actors we would need, I would say at like I would prefer 6 to 8 actors. But honestly, we could do 4 and just make them dress up as the same characters. I'll explain to you why once I get into the synopsis. In fact, I'll even explain it to you now. Synopsis is simple. Frank Johnson, a mild-mannered yet a little paranoid young man. He's suffering from a very particular mental illness that causes him to hallucinate, see things that he that isn't actually there. I prefer it if we never actually see what that mental illness is. It could be anything. But the whole idea is that he's been going to neighborhood because he never felt like he belonged. He always felt outcast. Mainly, he could live with his mom, but who wants to live with their mother at the age of 30? It's not gonna be fun to tell your girlfriend, hey, I live with my mother. Just imagine your girlfriend just being like, do you want me to pay the check? No, I work to paper. And the whole idea would be him finding this borderline idyllic neighborhood. Full of these kind of welcoming neighbors, seeming like it's something out of the 1940s, the 50s kind of era, kind of niceness to them. It's like, how do you do, neighbor? You know, kind of like Miss Ned Flanders kind of vibes a little bit. You know, it kind of makes your coziness feel nice. Then, he has this bizarre dream, and he hears chanting in the middle of the night. And he just sees this shadowy figure leaving a note on his porch, and just walk out. He reads it and says, keep the lights on and the door is locked. I was never here. And he tried to ask what's going on here with the representative of the neighborhood watch. And he kind of explained this. I don't know. I mean, we do have a bit of a party going on outside sometimes, so that might have been it, but we weren't doing any chanting. And this begins the whole story, where he would hear something. And some of it would be true, but some details would start going out and into his head, making it question, okay, is he just losing his mind right now, or is there something freaky going on with this neighborhood the more he stays here? The whole theming would be a battle against mental illness and a need to socialize, a desire to socialize, so perhaps past that. But how can one determine whether or not it's actually real or if it's in your head? That's the issue that he has. The ending is something you would not expect, because it's actually going to be a happy ending. I've seen a lot of horror movies that have negative endings, sad endings where the person comes out a survivor or traumatized, but the killer comes back or something, or the killer's still out there, or something like that. I want a movie where the guy goes through all this shit and feels like he's kind of scared, but in the end, he's accepted it. Kind of something like Midsommar, where she, even though she's went through this fucked up shit, she's technically got a bigger community of people who will welcome them in. So, but the whole thing about the movie, another thing as well, to kind of build up the horror as well, is that they would have these dream sequences of the neighbors turning on him. Maybe you could have it 1 or 2 interspiced there, but you would just get this imagery of eyes everywhere, and you're wondering, what the fuck is with the eyes? What's going on with that? You even saw a couple of the eye imagery as well, with the eyes kind of like about there, or the eye that I had in my hand. So the whole plot twist is that there's a straight up Lovecraftian god that watches over everyone at night. This is like something they don't even have an explanation for. This is up to you guys. If you don't want to use that aspect of it, and you can all say it's in his head, that's fine. But how I would go for it is just to kind of say the what the fuck bonkers ending. I want to try to go for it, to lean into the actual kind of surreal horror of it. That there was this creature that has existed since the settlement. As for the whole ritual thing, well, it's just we worship Dave. Who? Oh, Dave, look up. Jesus Christ! And he just looks up and sees this giant hand reaching down with an eyeball. And you can use special effects, honestly. Nothing serious. There's just like your hand with an eyeball attached to it.
Yeah.
And it's just looming down. And he freaks out. He thinks this hand is going to grab him or something. And then it just
pats him.
And it just flies up. And they all just like welcome in and it's like, hey, you succeeded the task, congratulations. And they just start, and he's still freaking out like, what's happening? And he kind of just accepts it, and he has a nice little ending where he just meets his neighbors, deals with some of the weirder stuff that happens, but he has some context now. Any questions? And I want to hear any problems though. Serious problems, any discomfort, any negative spots that you guys could have. Honestly, I'm okay.
Not really. I mean, maybe the Lovecraftian God. Because that kind of just comes like okay. We can work.
That came out of nowhere, but but that's fine. Honestly, you can have the eye imagery.
You already
representing
knew
the
that.
neighborhood.
Yeah, you
But I
knew
could
that. Like
see
the
it with the point of being like camp. Like the movie kind of gives me like a little like camp, like with it being like funny. Like, and also I just wanted to say like I loved the preview because I really I resonated with it, the anxiety and the ruminating thoughts and even the static and then it going like immediately silent afterwards. And then I think that's really cool. And also it pays homage to the point of like, he just wanted to fit in somewhere. So that's why people join cults, join gangs, you know what I mean? Like he's technically happy where he is.
I'm glad that the idea wasn't so okay. I felt like it was like, man, some of these people put in a lot of effort in this. And I feel like
no, you did just as much.
I think you did as well, yes.
Good.
Now, is all of this going to be at your house, or where would you want this?
Thank you.
This is the
done
best thing
or
about
filmed?
it. We could Shinings it. That is a very particular saying, but there's a lot of continuity errors in The Shining, and you think, oh, that's not really on purpose. Kubrick straight up said, oh no, those were on purpose. I wanted to make this surreal as fuck. You look in the background, you see some weird shit going on. That's on purpose. You look in some of the decals and rooms and shit that don't.
But anywhere, basically, is what you mean.
Yeah, you could have the movie where it's just like, you could have it where the main setting is just like established already. But then when he wakes up, maybe he notices a room slightly different that we didn't notice before. When he opens it up, it could be from a completely different house. You guys could have fun with it. Neighborhood houses could be all around. You guys could have it where it could be here. It could be. And it's a flexibility that I want to give you guys. I want to make this as easy as possible. In fact, I'll even say this: the movie can be done in 15 minutes to an hour, as long as you guys want it to. As much as you guys want to explore the ideas, rewrite stuff, I'm letting you guys kind of like have some free reign on this.
That's a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, it is.
It works too.
I have one question.
Go ahead.
What does the watch have to do with it?
So the watch itself was a gift from his grandmother. Kind of a representation, a ticking of time. It's like a matter of time before he snaps. He feels like one day he's going to have another incident where he's just going to snap at his neighbors, freak out, and just think they think he's going to be a fucking freak. And he'll, once again, leave. That's what he's terrified of. That's the one thing he is scared
But
of.
ironically, the people around him are all freaks.
Yes, exactly.
Let's see.
I like both aspects that you have, which is horror and I do see a lot of comedy in it, though. I do see a lot of comedy and a lot of perspectives that we could have for the comedy. A lot of moments where we're kind of like breaking it down. It's a lot more like suspenseful. Like, what the hell's going on? I was getting Truman Show vibes from it for some reason.
That is another example.
Because
yeah,
that's what he said.
Because what you're explaining is that it's like all these people are like this way, but this is the person that's more like down and more grounded, has no idea what's going on, and everybody else is like hoots, knows what's going on, and this person is the one that's like
out of the loop.
What the hell?
Out of the loop, but at the same time, he also has something wrong with him mentally as well.
I like that. I like the aspect that so you have three-dimensional characters again, where you have the main person that has a lot of sides to him, and there's a lot of things going on, and you have the perspective of, well, why are they experiencing this?
Specifically what? Because it's kind of their nightly habits. It's kind of like a nocturnal thing where they have.
Is this like, have they moved in? right?
Frank moved in, yeah. And he's only been experiencing this for a couple of days. He might have noticed something weird for a few days, but he didn't think anything serious until the chanting started happening.
Midnight watch.
Yeah.
I see.
Night watch.
Yeah.
I like that. I thought it was interesting in your trailer. It was very suspenseful.
You did a good job of doing
I really
horror
like
by
that.
yourself too.
And this is another kind of joke as well. Like, they would just explain to him, oh, usually Dave just kind of gives you a pat on the head, and then some, or if you fail, something else. What happens if you fail? They never explain. They never say what happens if you fail. Just imagine what could happen.
Okay. Okay, I think your idea has a
lot
good
of potential.
There's a lot of sides going on. I like playing the different sides. That you have this kind of warped, corrupted side of like the people, and then you have this side that's also kind of warped and corrupted, but it's not whole. So it's only one person while you're dealing with a lot of different people, and there's two sides. So the movie has a lot of sides to it, and I like that.
And the actual fun thing about it is that it's actually more wholesome than Christmas with the Cranks. There's no cynical edge to it. There's no like, oh, we're forcing you to do this.
I do like that.
Because there's so many cynical horror movies where the guy gets tortured. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, probably completely unintentional, but the fact that your dog was totally okay with all of this can be used as kind of symbolism to show that throughout this whole film that Frank is in no real danger whatsoever.
That actually is a great way of looking at it. I never thought of that.
Everybody, this is Kyle. He's really good at writing stuff.
Kyle, you are
tell.
phenomenal at that. I'm glad you actually. Honestly,
He's
that
gonna
is a
help me
good
write the Captain
detail.
Cleaner
That is a
movie.
good detail. I did not. I don't have any credit of it. That's honestly Woody. He is the best actor out of the two of us. Honestly, he's an attention dog. He's an attention whore, though. He loves being in the attention spotlight.
Any dog ever felt?
Oh,
That's my dogs.
He just loves.
Well, thank you, Jack.
I like it. I'm glad. You all have a wonderful day. I'm gonna go and get something to eat. I'm happy. It turned out so good. All right.
I'm surprised.
Next up, we have Kyle.
Oh, I've been waiting for this one.
Greetings, judges, party attendees. For those of you who don't know my name is Kyle Kimmel. I have worked with you guys before on a previous film, and this time I hope to become more than just a crew member. I hope to become, hopefully, the lead writer of the next film. It is great to be here at the Scriptacular. Sorry for hacking into your system, but considering it is near Halloween and it is a time when one is entitled to one or two good scares. I hope you don't mind. Well, I shouldn't keep all of you waiting. Allow me to present my idea for your film. And since it's Halloween, I brought my own mask.
Oh no.
It's the Purge!
Purge.
I'm sorry.
Can you endure the next few minutes? I hope so.
Ooh. Good.
We as adults have gained a lot of knowledge and wisdom over the course of our lives. But we did not start off the way we are now, did we? We needed hope stripped away from us from time to time to help toughen us up for the upcoming horrors of life. I want you all to look at the people next to you. What kind of monsters do you think they carry from their childhood and teenage years? What monsters did they receive? What monsters did they give? As adults, we come to realize that children, in particular, can be the cruelest human beings in the world. Schools have become battlefields of bullying and psychological trauma that affect people's mental health well into their teenage and adult years. How much of that trauma is dealt with? How much hasn't? In my horror movie, we shall explore that very question. Welcome to Frontier, New Jersey, a small town just like any other, filled with people who either smile genuinely or put on a mask disguised as a smile. Either way, life goes on. The clock always ticking. However, in the middle of this town's daily routine, something special comes to town. A small frontier high school class reunion, orchestrated by, well, no one really knows exactly. Unlike most reunions, this one is divided into 3 different venues to prevent overcrowding and make the reunion more welcoming than stressful. One is held at a hotel ballroom, the second at the high school itself, and the third is held in the form of a camping trip in one of Frontier's most popular landmarks, Archangel Park. 400 students went to Frontier High School, and 20% were confirmed to attend. But out of the 80 people confirmed to be at the reunion, only 10 chose to attend the camping trip. Now, no names have been chosen for the characters yet, but I can tell you their occupations to establish the typical horror movie stereotypes and maybe introduce some new ones that haven't been explored yet. We have 2 former jocks. One turned engineer, the other is an Olympian in discus. A former juvenile delinquent turned actor. 2 former cheerleaders. One turned famous mentalist, the other an occupational therapist. 2 former nerds, siblings, turned Navy seaman. The valedictorian turned doctor. A former goth kid turned graphic designer.
Wow.
And the weeb, the anime fan, turned ranger and outdoorsman.
You targeted? No.
Our characters do not receive an in-person welcome from the unknown organizer of this reunion. Instead, signs and markers are placed around the campground, directing them to the campground itself, the wood for the fire pit, and the food and drinks that were placed there about a half hour before they arrived. After they assemble their tents and get comfortable around the campfire, reminiscing about old times, a PA system from somewhere in the trees finally welcomes them. It is the organizer, but it is in a voice that no one can identify. It welcomes them and apologizes for not attending in person yet due to attending the other venues. The characters are easily, shall we say, disturbed by the sudden change in circumstances, and as if the organizer is aware of their fear, the voice slowly turns demonic as it states that this will very likely be their last night on Earth. The organizer reveals that there was never any reunion, that each and every one of these 10 characters were given a fake invite and that they fell into a trap. Each of our 10 characters did something in either elementary, junior high, or high school that wronged this organizer. For years, they tried to overcome it, but it was just too cruel that they couldn't let it go. So, to get rid of their trauma, they feel that they need to purge those who wrong them. No pun intended, because this is a purge mask. Over the course of the night, each of our main characters will be hunted by a masked predator, the organizer. The park is rigged with booby traps, designed to instill fear and eliminate any chance of escape for our characters. However, there is one glimmer of hope. If someone can guess correctly who the organizer is, not everyone may have to die. Who is ready to to confront the past? Who is brave enough to make their confessions?
Ooh!
Woo!
Chills.
I got chills and I'm sweating. This is not fun.
That's a good name.
I like that.
Hold on.
How are you guys feeling after that?
Pretty good.
Horrified, I hope. Well, in case you're asking yourselves, or actually asking each other, how the hell might we pull this off? Well, here's a little treat. Me being an Eagle Scout myself, in real life, I have many, many belongings that can serve as props in this camping-themed horror film. You, of course, are welcome to bring your own to the inventory, if you have some.
Said inventory wrong.
Venues for filming can alter to fit storytelling needs. No one location has to be the same. For example, I have 2 main locations in mind, but you guys can input your own submissions if you want. If you know somewhere that looks either creepy or just something that can be used for filming a campsite or something, please feel free to submit those options. In terms of casting, when it comes down to it, I would like to hold sight reading auditions for these roles. Once cast, and here's a little treat, our actors can create their own names for their characters. That way they can feel more connected instead of having to kind of like memorize a name. They can feel more comfortable just remembering their own and remembering others. So yeah, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to promote my story idea. This was a great, actually fantastic way of presenting and holding the event and everything. So good job to you guys for that. I hope my idea has instilled some dread, because that is one of the most important foundations of any horror film, and it is my overall goal. So again, thank you very much. Happy Halloween, everyone, and I look forward to your decisions and your opinions. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Phenomenal. Wow. The editing.
Well, that's why I said I've been waiting for this one, and that's why it's close to the end. I feel as though we may not be able to get like all those characters in that one location and that one but aside from that, this is very practical. This is very simple for me and Jaden to make for sure. It's interesting. It's kind of a slasher, but not fully. It's got the game aspect that we've seen from which Jade and I are really interested in doing that already. Especially we could add a couple things maybe into it and stuff like that. This is really thought out.
It really is.
Interesting to see the darkness in kids and what they become, and he never actually mentioned what happened, right? I think he kept it to himself. He kept it to himself. He didn't actually mention what they did to this organizer.
Nope.
Which is very interesting.
He's making us question, figure it out.
Yeah, and I think that'd be really fun to watch while watching the movie. I think it could be very horrifying, especially with the traps he mentioned, which again goes into the whole escape room aspect of it, which is really cool.
I do want to mention something with how you said before that 10 actors might be too much. Also considering that some of them might just die at the start to establish.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So I could already get rid of most of it. Exactly. Either way, it's practical. It's up to interpretation. He said that we could pick the location and stuff like that. He just mainly wants a campsite. So we probably would do the fact that I'm already thinking about how to do it is really, really good.
Yeah, we can see the vision. If we can see the vision with the movie, then it definitely
and it's not just because of his visuals. I could see the vision the way he's talking, his showmanship. He has a vision, and he intends to do it. Nice job, Kyle. That's all I gotta say, really. You hit all the nails on the boxes, man.
Jenna?
Super nice job. I think my favorite part was the fact that they can escape or somehow get out of it by remembering how they wronged him. I think that's a huge part, is how disrespectful is it to have wronged somebody but then not even know their name or who they are or what you did to them. And this person is ruminating on that for years and years to the point that they can have established careers. And I think that's cool too, is like kind of the ultimate like supervillain. Like they've been planning this for probably 10 years if
Yeah.
someone's able to be a doctor, etc.
I like it too, and exactly, it's representation of the Purge. Love that movie.
Yeah, that's why you got the mask.
The one thing is I'm curious if he's gonna represent like different POVs of like different people, you know? Because if there's like a killer per person, you know,
I wonder if one of
like
them are the
how is that
organizer.
set up, or like how that's going to
I
coexist in the film, like if they're gonna switch POVs, like they'll come together and then they'll switch when they get like
Oh,
spread
you mean like
out.
the focus of it, yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how they're gonna focus it.
Yeah, I think it's
Because
closer.
each person did do something wrong. It's just
Yeah.
getting that time to focus on each one. Unless somebody were, say, he mentioned two people, one person, like each all described like a different category, but there was like 1, 1, 2, 1. You know?
Yeah, Jaden.
What I have to say is that the video is very well edited, but of course I'm not going to critique it on that. I'm going to critique it on the idea and the factors of the idea. It hit me right in the core when he started talking about bullying, because trauma from bullying, I just did a film on that. And that completely destroyed me, because I had to do a lot of research on multiple different incidents where people committed suicide, and it was just really horrifying and sad. So I know how scary it can be. In that film, I watched another film called The Final, which is an independent film where kids are bullied in the high school, and then they have one night. And they use it to lure their bullies into a party, and then they lock all the doors, drug them, and they torture them for like the rest of the remainder of the movie. It's hard to watch, but it's also kind of therapeutic. Like, man, they deserve that.
I'm sorry, I want to look it up.
So I want to see if it's kind of got that aspect where we're gonna get to see like why these people deserve what they do. It's got Jigsaw vibes because of that. Because the Jigsaw victims are
Which is
kidnapped
really fun to do.
because of things they did. Maybe to Jigsaw, or because of decisions they made in their life that wasn't directly to the Jigsaw killer. There's a lot of sides going on here. It's possible to do it with less people. It is, as long as we have the variety.
You know what I also think it is? Relatable. And it was just really interesting to actually say that in like a horror movie like this. But it's relatable. You're probably gonna feel for this organizer, even though like,
as long as we can like show, because if we try to like imply it, I feel like we have to show a little bit, like something, like a seed of like how they treat him. But if we show like more and more, like that's when the build of the anger and the stigmatization against the characters that you're watching starts to become real. And it's almost like you're cheering on the organizer.
Yeah.
So I want to see if we can blur the lines between that and
Yeah.
make it kind of gray area between both, where both parties are both in the wrong.
Yeah.
But no one's inherently evil.
Yeah.
It could almost be like 13 Reasons Why, like how it's like some of them, how they do her is like really, really bad, but then like she's already kind of like beaten down at that point and like really sensitive and like kind of mad at them for different reasons. Like the main character, like even you could have one that did them really dirty, or one depending on like who it is, maybe they had some type of romantic attraction towards one, and like you could feel for that character where they didn't necessarily do anything wrong, but the organizer was wronged. It could like really go into it so many different ways.
yeah. Honestly, personally, two things. One thing that Kyle did by accident. One, personally, I already want to do this one. The second one, though, Jaden said it, bullying. It is, I think all of us can relate in the bullying, and Jaden and I definitely can. So, what I was saying about, like, my father, I was like, I don't know if we could do it justice. This one, I think we could do justice.
Yeah.
This one, I believe that Jaden and I, if we come together, we could actually do justice. And Kyle, too, of course. This is a lot of good ones, man. I'll tell you. Thank you, Kyle. The other Kyle.
Yes, the other Kyle.
All right, next.
All right, then that leaves us with our final contestant, Joe. Woo!
So, you're probably all wondering, what horror movie concept have I come up with?
Nah,
mine.
I'm kidding.
Wow, thank you for the support, Tyler. All right. So I was thinking it was going to take place in like around 2014, 2015, around that era. It was going to take place in like this quiet little town, like, and I call it Pinewood, which is inspired by a lot of the hometowns that I grew up in. So the plot pretty much revolved around these like 4 teenage kids. We're going to say they're like 14, 15, you know. Locals in their neighborhood, like, go missing and stuff. And like while they're trying to like figure it out, like, hey, wait a second, where are all these people going? Like, they couldn't help but notice, like, this demon clown, like, was always behind all of them. Kind of like it.
Interesting.
I was thinking a lot of the horror stuff that they would find would be like circus themed, like, from one of the kids getting like tied to like a wheel and stuff and like getting knives thrown at them. I was thinking we could just use like basic like Hatchaway stuff. Like if you want to improvise that, like just feel free to let me know. There was also one scene I was kind of thinking where like, I was kind of thinking like, it would be like a ringmaster thing where one of them would be forced to go through like a flaming hoop and stuff, but there would be like a twist, like, there'd be like hungry alligators underneath, so if they missed, like, they would get eaten and stuff. If they like try to escape, like there's armed guards there, and like there's people with knives there, like, nope, no going back, no. So pretty much the only way out was to go forward. So the 4 main protagonists that I was thinking of was like, a guy named Dylan, like, so he's our main protagonist. His sister Dahlia goes missing. She's like one of the first like kids to go missing in the town, which is like kind of like meant to kickstart everything. He's like, trying to say, hey, what the hell happened to my sister? What the hell? And like, then we have his best friend Chase and stuff. He's meant to be like the goofy guy of the group. He's like meant to be like the comic relief or something. That's why I was kind of hoping, like, not sure if he's here right now, but thinking for somebody like Jack, he'd be perfect. He's like, goofy guy. And we have Butch, who's like meant to be the tough, muscly kid. And then finally, we have Jesse, the smart brains. Then there was that one character I showed you, Jaden, Detective Jones. Pinewood Police, he's meant to be like this rough type of, the homicide detective type person. Always have a cigar in his mouth, like, hey, what are these dang kids doing? Get away from my crime scene. Judges, thoughts, concerns.
Yeah, I don't know how we do the alligator, man.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I could get a fake gator head.
Okay, I don't know how good it would look.
If you have any concerns about, like, props and stuff, I'm sure I'll figure it out. Like, I can get, like, an alligator skin or something, like an alligator head or something.
What is the name?
Pinewood.
Where would the location be? Where would
like, I would put it in, like,
Talk River.
No.
It's Tom's River.
Actually, it was actually based off a town near Tom's River that I actually grew up near.
Your practical settings are good. It's just the effects that you want to do, like the hoop and the.
I was gonna say I can get a hula hoop, and I do have lighters.
I'm just saying that might not be the best idea, but.
All right.
Jaden.
No one else.
No, I think I'm good.
All right.
Your idea is
shit.
No, it's not shit.
Hit the bullshit button.
It is horrible. There's a lot going on with your idea, but so basically, these children are getting killed in these death traps by this clown-like creature.
Bobo. I was even gonna call him Bobo.
Not Bobo.
Come
Bobo's
on.
already been done.
Wait, really?
Bobo the clown. Yeah. It reminds me of Danganronpa, where you got these death traps and you got kids involved in these death traps. And you got this one person that's doing the death traps, even if it's not a clown or anything. Practically.
Yeah, I get it. Practically is like, you don't know. I get you.
No, I do know. We can't do it. There's absolutely no. I mean, I'm thinking of these big death traps and this whatnot, and I'm like, I don't have the money, and I'm accidentally gonna kill someone on set. I don't have the training for this. We got a fiery hoop. We got daggers being thrown.
I was gonna say you do have me, and I've done crazy stunts.
But it's everybody else if you're adding more people into it, though.
Yeah,
very true.
So, like, practically, we can't do it, but
all right.
Your idea has potential, and I like to see more of it.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, that is the end of our submissions. We will now have the jury come forth.
The jury gives different perspectives on their favorite submission.
I guess one of them is going to pitch us a movie because that's funny.
Keep in mind, the jury has no power on the final decision. Only the judges do.
Yeah. Probably my favorite is maybe Midnight Watch.
Midnight Watch?
Yeah.
You like the idea of the horror with the goofy fun, right?
Something of it serious,
Yeah, because it's a little bit of like psychological horror in there.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Next. My name is Rouge the Bat. I'm just kidding. It's Allie Lucas. I would say my favorite movie is the AI one that we discussed in the beginning.
Okay.
I'm actually an artist myself, and I am very much against AI art. So, the premise of it being like in a horror movie actually kind of interests me because we know AI art is getting like scary. It's like
Yeah.
you can pretty much type in anything in it and ChatGPT, and it'll make it for you. And it just takes away a lot of creativity and originality. And that's why I think like making fun of it in like a horror movie sense like interests me the most. Seriously, we do not appreciate artists enough, and let's be honest, AI art sucks. I don't know why. I don't want to call it art, but
Yeah.
Agree.
I agree.
Woo! Again, I really think it depends on how you use it, but like just blatantly, yes.
I'm Lita, and although I do kind of like the AI one, I do have to go with Nick's idea with the case about the 5 boys.
You like the real
Yeah.
aspect of it?
Yeah, like I'm honestly like make it be made as either a film or a documentary.
Yeah, it might fit a documentary.
Yeah.
Like a mockumentary.
Yeah.
Mockumentary.
Ooh,
okay.
Oh.
Maybe.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Think of that one.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm JR. How you doing? So.
Oh my God, it's Wild Surge! Wow!
No way! It's my favorite character.
Thanks for blowing my identity. Really nice. Wow.
Love that. All right.
All right, so I want to talk about my favorite movie that was presented today, which was near the end of it. It was Kyle, other Kyle, not you. Sorry.
Everything I make would be rejected.
That's what I thought. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, it was the movie called Confessions.
Yeah.
First off, I loved the way that he did the editing of it a lot. It really, immediately made it click with me. But also, I like a lot how personal it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's very much, oh, all of you did this to me. And it's very similar. We were just talking about the nonary games earlier. The whole point of 999 is
like
how
that stuff.
close the case is to every single character that's there.
Mhm.
And honestly, that's what's the most interesting to me, is the confessions part of it. Is the fact that they can't,
I know that name.
Exactly.
I love the name.
It hits you.
And it also moves in different ways too, is that some characters might just not want to confess. If they did something so horrible, they might not even know who they did it to.
Yeah.
Honestly, if they did it that many times. Or it could just be the slightest thing they did. Because if this is somebody who's willing to kidnap 10 people and kill them one by one, do you know how annoying they have to be of a person? How much they don't have to socialize? How any little thing could tick them off? If you didn't hold the door for Nate in your class, you're done.
All right, thank you, JR. All right, judges, before we get into it, I just think B-Split and Carl are just the worst ones. Now, let's talk about Ryan.
I liked Ryan's only because, exactly as he pointed out, there's barely any movies involving a scarecrow, or even if there was, it's like a background piece, not necessarily a main villain or main character in that aspect. So I really like that.
I like it being a front thing too, and not just a prop. And like I said earlier during their presentation, of it being sort of like a haunted doll. It's creepy. You don't really see it move around necessarily, but it's holding that place. And dead family members sewed into the suit, and it actually being haunted is really cool.
All right, let's talk about ND.
I like the whole psychological idea of it, where you have multiple people and this real story, so it's definitely going to affect a lot of people. The problem is that we would probably need the consent.
Yeah,
These
the consent of the
fact
people.
that it's off of a real story. We would have to really authentically put justice to it, and if we don't, we might get sued.
And he wants it dramatized, but I don't think we would be legally allowed to do it anyways. Exactly, you need consent. You in this case, this would be respecting them.
Yeah.
Because if we dramatize it, that's not really original.
It's really
and actually
personal.
representing the real life event that actually occurred.
All
if
right.
we did that.
What do we think about Matt?
I liked Matt's.
I think Matt's
His
is
very
current.
original.
Very
and
current.
especially, very current, especially coming to AI because everybody's
Yeah.
using it day to day pretty much. And unfortunately, I'm competing with AI for that position
Yeah.
where you're basically, I've got nothing. And just to see the horrifying part of it, what's interesting, and I realized this, is that AI art, he's turning it into like almost like Terminator with machines taking over. In this case, this would be like computer-generated images, videos.
The issue that I find with Matt's is the practicality of using it, because honestly, it feels like you have to use AI.
Without using AI,
You have to use AI to show AI. It's kind of an oxymoron, and it's unfortunate, but you know.
No, it is a great idea. Just a little hard to execute without AI and take away from the whole point of it.
What about Jack's over there?
Jack has a very unique idea, and I like the two sides to the coin.
Yeah.
The horror side and the comedy side, but also the really weird mystery side. Kind of Truman Show vibes, and these people that act like this in a certain way, and then this person that's out of the loop. It's very unique and interesting.
I agree. I just feel like there's too much, unfortunately. So for us to get it all to flow is just going to be too much. And especially if we're having a main focal point of this guy going through, trying to fit in, and then there's all these just extra pieces coming in.
Yeah,
I feel like there's no way. I don't think
like
it's
the
able
Lovecraft
to.
or like
I
whatever
don't think
is
there's a way
actually-
for it to coexist.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on, but the themes in it, really good.
Yes, I agree with that.
I'd like to talk about Jake's right here. Jake, he had a really interesting story with mystery, but that actually brings me to what I really want to talk about, which is Kyle's. Kyle's is my favorite. Kyle's, I think, takes the mystery idea and really, really shows it to its best. The people that are in this mystery are a lot more connected, and it really shows the drama that can come with that. I really like Kyle's story here. I think that practically it's very easy to make, and I think that Jaden over here is actually going to be able to do it justice.
I think practically it works. I think the character need a little bit more work and a little bit more detail in them. That's why I really like Anastasia's. I cannot get over her character design on that mother character. I absolutely loved it. I loved the vintage, scary feel of the house that could be the planned setting. I think that would really be a killer character, and like people will recognize it.
I mean, I 100% agree with you when it comes to character detail and stuff. That's why, in my honest opinion, I like Jared's The Recovery. His goes off of basically real day-to-day life, PTSD, addiction, getting through that, and pretty much change your environment, and especially dealing with what's reality, what's not, which, in my opinion, I like that more. And it's very simple. You can easily do, no problem. Practicality-wise, I think it can be easily done with only like 3 to 4 characters, and then everything else can be like shadowy, dark and brooding, and it would just be very easy, in my opinion, to portray that story very nicely. So that's my personal opinion.
I would like to say that the practicality and the character development all brings me to Will Cyrus's, which is the Mortimers, which I believe is very good practical-wise, and the story's already made. We don't have to workshop anything. The characters are already three-dimensional. There's so much going on. There's so many events happening. There's already 3 acts. I think, personally, this is the clear winner.
It is really well thought out, but
I really think that Kyle's is the real winner, because like we've seen a lot of these today. Like this one has like a game kind of going on. This one's mystery, and this one's slasher. This brings that all into like a perfect bow. Like for me, this is the winner.
But personally, for me, compared to everybody, he's the only one that deals with paranormal.
That's true. Yeah.
Respectfully, he's the only one that did paranormal with ghosts, because that's primarily anything horror related. It's always about ghosts. Because, don't get me wrong, I like Confessions because it reminds me of The Purge, which I really liked. It's very suspenseful, but I like the originality. It's paranormal. That's what horror is paranormal, spooky. It honestly.
I am sticking with mine because, as I said, I would just really like to see that character on screen. I feel for the character, what she had went through in the past and what she's trying to do. I think she has a lot of redeemable qualities on top of her being scary. I love an antagonist like that, so.
want to get that lighthouse in the Mortimers, but it seems, judges, that we have a tough decision.
Yeah.
I agree.
We'll see what happens.
And now it's time to announce our finalists. Let's bring them out. First up, we have Will Cyrus.
So I thought your idea was well constructed. I really liked the premise of it. I liked the characters. I liked how they were three-dimensional. There's not much to workshop. You already did all the work for us. Amazing job.
Next we have Jared.
Jared, I really like yours, the originality and your reference to The Shining. I liked it regarding PTSD, hallucinations, determining what's real and what's not. Honestly, everything was already constructed and the practicality is very simple and not that hard to do. So I really liked it a lot.
Next is Anastasia.
Anastasia, I loved your character design. I would love to see it on a screen. I loved her backstory, the costuming, all of it. I feel like it really sold me an image.
And last but not least, we have Kyle.
Hey Kyle, what's up, man? I'm really glad you can make it. Whenever you watch this, I really enjoyed your movie a lot. A lot of the ones we saw had like mystery, it had slasher, it had a game. You brought it all together in a very interesting way, and I think that like I can make it a reality. So nice job.
As wonderful as all these ideas are, there can only be one winner. And that winner is, drumroll please, Kyle! Boom! Congratulations, Kyle! Your script is the winner!
I know it's really funny, but
Take that, Kyle!
I would all like to say that you all did an amazing job, though. So
Yes.
good job.
Yes.
Good job. It was very
tough
close.
decision.
Yeah,
I
it
will
was
say
very
that.
close. Seriously.
I personally picked yours, Jared. I loved yours.
Like we really did argue for all of you. Like you could see which one was which.
Yes.
But, yeah. So that's our show.
We did. Thank you for coming to America's Scariest Scriptacular! Hell yeah! Have a good night, folks. I was your charismatic host, Bella. It was a pleasure to be your host. Thank you so much for picking me for that. Woo! What?
Hey, Sam's not here. I gotta do it.
Anyway, so there were a lot of good ideas presented today, and it was a little difficult for me to figure out which one I liked the best. But then when we got towards the end, there was a clear winner for me, and that was Confessions.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have been saying a lot of good things, so I'm not gonna rinse and repeat what they said, aside from the fact that, I can understand how bullying is like a psychological point for this movie.
Jaden's good for
can
that.
be such a
Jaden can make that work. I know Jaden can make that.
I used to get bullied too, so
But,
I
you
have
know.
attachment to it.
I think everybody who works on set could like have like something
Yeah, it
like
makes
the
it
fact
so
that
relatable.
we have such a personal connection with it.
We could have fun with it too. We can add
Yeah,
a couple of the
exactly.
escape room aspects he was thinking of a little bit too. It's kind of cool.
Exactly, and I think just like having a large cast and then just dwindling them down like
Yeah,
drastically
it's effective.
makes this like killer scene very scary, very terrifying, because he's already willing to kidnap people.
But there's also a personal message.
And
So,
it's
like-
also very personal too.
Yeah.
It's like,
For
don't
sure.
do this.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that we get to name the characters, if we get to play them,
That's
oh
fun.
my god.
That's
like,
fun. Yeah.
every actor wants to be able to relate to a character. I
Yeah.
know as an actor myself. So just having that opportunity seems awesome. But that's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Bella.
Hola!
Yes!
I've been the gracious coordinator. I've been getting all the people to show you the lovely project they've been working on. And as I've been watching them, there's been a couple standouts. For one, standout Jared's was really nice.
Yeah, his was.
His plays a lot like a Shakespeare play.
Mhm.
Like it is giving like Hamlet vibes.
Ooh.
Like the 3 acts instead of 5, obviously. another one to stand out. Ray stood out to me just because of how real it is.
Yeah.
Like, that is a gut message you wouldn't be able to.
I never
get
said
anywhere.
like no to Ray. It was more like figure out exactly how you want to do
It'll
it.
take work, but it is up. It is still a powerful message.
It's definitely something in the
And then-
future for me.
Oh,
if
totally.
he
I
wants
know
to
this
do
is
it.
beating a dead horse at this point. Confessions, that's a slam of an idea right there.
I agree.
Like that whole 10 people and then dwindling, the conflicts, the thought of who did what, and are they willing to confess it, or are they willing to die over this secret? And not just for them, but everyone else that's also there.
Yeah.
Like not just caring about themselves taking the secret, but everyone else there as well. Like I don't know if it was talked about yet, but the connection not that they have to the main antagonist, but the connection they'd have to each other. Like if they've known each other in school.
Yeah, the drama potential.
Like the drama potential.
I caught that on immediately.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that
maybe
can definitely be
the
expanded.
athletes and the cheerleaders knew each other at one point. Maybe they had a relationship that fell out. Who knows? Maybe the nerds and the weeb were friends, and maybe they still are. Maybe they had a falling out. Who knows?
Yeah.
Because it's a reunion. They could have either been in touch or just haven't seen each other in how long.
Yeah. It leaves for alliances,
alliances,
Or betrayals.
enemies, drama. Gotta love a good drama. The fact you can again name the characters, just a really easy way to connect with it if you just make the character your own.
I see a sense of romance being put into this. I don't know why. I do.
No,
definitely.
Always when fear is involved and it's like a survival thing. I think
No,
those come so
definitely. So it goes in with the drama and stuff like that. Like you can have fun with that.
That is my take on this.
Wow. That's insane.
If I had to pick one to stand above the others, I would probably pick Confessions.
I would agree.
Understand. Thank you, Alejandro.
Hey, I was Nate. I was the second guy in charge of the presentations, videos, all that good stuff. And there were. Thank you. As you can see, I'm doing an incredible job.
That's amazing.
That is actually really funny timing.
Well, that's because he's not there anymore.
But see, there were a lot of really good ideas being thrown out.
Yeah.
And I will admit that because of the sheer amount, I don't remember all of them off the top of my head. However, a lot of them did stand out to me. But of course, one thing that I was putting into consideration a lot was the practicality of them and how well we can do all these, because which is why I really do appreciate, say, ND's story about the missing people. I really appreciated also Jared's as well as Will's. But of course, even though I'm sure that we probably could do those, I feel like they would be really hard to do.
That's what I was implying. Yes.
Meanwhile, I do also agree. Everything that was said about Confessions, I agree. Which is why I'm not going to say anything else about Confessions because what I want to say about Confessions has already been said a lot. However, one thing that I do want to say, Anastasia's story.
Okay,
I was a big fan of that. Because while I haven't seen some of the things that it was inspired by, say, Children of the Corn. I think we said it was inspired by weapons.
Yes.
But I am completely down with an idea like that. And again, I feel like those two feel very practical, and we can do a lot of really cool stuff with those.
Kyle.
Hey, Jaden. Hey,
How are
I'm
you
looking
doing?
forward. My heart has just been beating this whole time. I'm just looking forward to it. All right. Obviously, you called me for a reason, so let's hear it.
So, I regret to inform you that. You won!
You gotta be kidding me. What? Oh. Whoa. Wow.
The judges were blown away from your idea. Your video,
Are you
your
serious?
presentation, the way you compose yourself, even the puns. I mean, it was such a great show, and we couldn't be more happy with our pick. It was a tough pick. There was a lot of good scripts, a lot of great potential, and no one had a bad script, especially the finalists. But in the end, you won. And we know that you want to be the main writer of this, and we can certainly make that happen.
Wow, it's just I haven't in my life. I just haven't had many opportunities to really truly write something, and this to for my idea to be picked for something like that, for to be adapted into a movie. This is going to be. I already know this is going to be fun, and I'm going to get to work right away. I'm serious, and I think I want to make this a memorable experience for everyone involved, and who's going to be involved.
Well, we are so excited to work with you, Kyle.
Thank you. I'm excited to work with you guys again too, and this time it's going to be a little different, but it's going to be a good change, I hope.
Have a nice night, man. You deserve it.
Thank you, and thank you so much. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to you too.
All right. You have a good night.
Thanks for watching, and happy Halloween.